Demise. I'm sorry, Dawn. But you're gonna have to run again. Run!
Halfway done with the fucking year, which doesn't make any happy beginning of July. That's tomorrow. So what's going on, man?
Oh shit, my license expired.
Does it?
This isn't even a bit. I just realized this very moment. Oh shit, I need to go to DMV.
Yeah, you have to go to DMV on the last of the month. Does it expire today?
It expires today.
Well, that's fantastic.
I'll go on Monday.
I actually don't even have my car. I left my car at work last night because we went and saw U2 last night. And I texted you about it. I'm not even like the biggest U2 fan, but
you know, for not being a U2 fan, you talk so highly of U2.
You know what? Before I saw them last year, I was going for The Landlord because she's a big fan, and I was like, I can, you know, and it was a Joshua Tree tour, which I like that album a lot.
Worst guest.
Yeah, and so this one, it was her birthday gift. And dude, I know you said the only song that you really like by them is Sunday Bloody Sunday.
No, that's my favorite, but it's one of those things where it's such a hack song to say, well my favorite U2 song is Sunday Bloody Sunday.
You would have liked about how they did it last night. They didn't play a lot of the big hits last night, but when they did Sunday Bloody Sunday, the stage goes across the whole floor, and they came out and the drummer just had one snare drum, and they did like a stripped down, like raw version of Sunday Bloody Sunday.
I've heard they do that with select songs.
They were very, very impressive. So
I would like to see you too.
Well, I'll tell you, this weekend got off to a better start than last weekend did. So last weekend after we recorded, you know, I was supposed to be going to see Jurassic World, correct? Mm-hmm. So I didn't get to go see Jurassic World.
Mike's scariest movie ever.
Yeah, Mike's scary. He's afraid of lizards and dinosaurs. So the landlord and I decided we were going to go down to Palisades to see Jurassic World at 6 p.m. So we got we were going to go to Outback after for dinner. So
high class.
Yeah, I know. We're living large. So we go to Palisades. We get there about 5:30. I'll say, and the 6 o'clock showing is sold out. So whatever. We'll go.
Goober.
We'll go to the 7. They had a 6:30 IMAX 3D sold out. They had a 7 o'clock regular 3D sold out. So then we're like, why don't we buy it for 2 showings from now, and we'll go eat beforehand instead. The problem is the next 3 showings in each different theater only had single tickets available, like in the front 2 rows.
I hope you ditched everyone.
Well, so this is where it gets fun. So we decide, we're like, fuck that. Like, why don't there's a showing at Kinnelon, which is a movie theater just 10 minutes from our house, but it's obviously further from Palisades. So we'll get Chili's on our way out, like Chili's to go. We'll eat it in the car quick and go to a 7:30 at Kinnelon. So do that.
I think sadder than taking like fast casual food and eating it in your car.
I know.
Like getting it from McDonald's, you're like, okay, this is
shameful.
Expected.
It's shameful.
But like eating a cowboy burger in the passenger seat,
chicken crispers, that's just a house salad. So wait, so we get our food, we get to Kinnelon, and we're at Kinnelon like 45 minutes before movie time. And we've grew up going to Kinnelon. It's never sold out. Kinnelon 7:30 was fucking sold out too. So
did they remodel and put 4 seats?
No, I was like, what the fuck is this? So we decided we're gonna go home. We're gonna just grab some ice cream and then watch a movie at home. We ended up. This one is not part of the show recommendation, but we watched the movie Annihilation, which was fucking fantastic. Natalie Portman, great sci-fi movie. I took something that put me into the sunken place beforehand, so the movie was very much enhanced for me. I was the bright colors and everything that was happening was extremely special. So the movie was cool. And then the next day, which I told you about this as well, we got like this 5-minute like squall, like this nasty storm that just came out of nowhere. And
you are such an old man using the word squall.
But that's the only way I think about the movie White Squall, when they're out on the ocean, and then this just fucking.
This is your Watch I Listen, hosted by Ernest Hemingway and Ralph.
Ernest Borgnine.
He would be big into squalls as well.
So the power goes out during this like literal 2 to 5 minute storm, and I don't think anything of it. And then I see one of my neighbors walking up the street. I'm like, oh, what the fuck could that be? So I walk out, and then there in the middle of the street is this like 30-foot tree that was 2 houses down across the street, took out the wires across the street, and then landed on the wires on my street. And then because of how it took the power wires, it split another power pole right across the street from me. So we lost power for fucking 24 hours.
So happy.
I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I'm trying to sleep. And
gotta watch out for those squalls.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for squalls, guys. You watch, I squall. So should we?
Speaking of, it's episode 10.
Episode 10.
We made it 10 episodes, and I'm gonna be honest. I said to the fiance, I bet this thing falls apart in 8. So we are 20% beyond. But I want to just say, episode 10, you watch, I listen. I really think we have a lot of support.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised how many people have messaged me, have messaged Dan, and you said 2,000 viewers an episode.
Yeah, it's the last 3 have averaged out about 2,000. Which, speaking of which, I do want to ask everyone that's listening, if you're listening on an iPhone, go give us a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. You could rate one, just give us 5 stars. If you think we suck, give us 1 star. I don't care. Just give us something.
Write nice things and give 1 star just to confuse everyone.
Be like, these guys are hilarious, but give 1 star.
One other thing before we move on, I also have to give it up to Dan, because a lot of the promotion, the social media, he's good with that stuff. I don't know. I just made my Twitter account this week. I think it's Ralph YWIL. Ralph YWIL. Dan's a pro at it, so I think he's really been busting his ass. So,
I appreciate that.
If you discover this, it's all Dan's. I just bring food for us to eat once in a while.
I would say you're more the creative engine behind the episodes themselves, and I do the back end work. Like, you're the queen, you're the mother ant, and we're getting you all your shit.
I like how originally you said queen ant, and you're like, no, he's not a queen ant.
You're not a queen bee. Yeah,
they have queen ants.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about ants. I know the movie.
Actually,
Ants.
real quick, when they want to kill a queen ant, because why wouldn't they? They all huddle around them, and then they make her body temperature rise until she explodes.
That's awesome.
That's how they assassinate the queen.
Don't you think our significant others would do that to us if they could? Just make us. I got to give a shout out again to bloodrainlitmag.com. Again, dedicated to educating and promoting new writers in horror and paranormal fiction. $10 a year gets you 4 issues, telling you all the best stuff that's coming out. They've been crazy supportive. So make sure you go check them out at bloodrainlitmag.com. And the other shout out we got to give was the big EP drop this week. On June 26th, the Bobo Show, which you can read Ralph's fantastic, in-depth, articulate, and really beautiful review of the Bobo Show EP from our good friends at Lobo Sound in Illinois.
You know how they say there were the people who grew up in a pre-Beatles world and a post-Beatles world?
Yes.
We're going to have that with this.
The pre-Bobo world.
Bobo EP. And after Bobo.
Well, I'm glad you said the Bobo Show EP. I'm glad you said specifically the Bobo Show and not Bobo himself, because we've had Bobo in our lives for 10 years now, about 10 probably. When did he first debut?
Bobo is not 10 years old.
No, when did he debut on O&A? When did he become to our knowledge?
Probably 12, 13 years.
Yeah, I was going to say. So that's Vince and Dan at Lobo Sound doing some really, really cool stuff. They've been crazy supportive, very helpful.
We'll have them on one day.
Yeah, for sure.
They've been cool. They've been supportive. They've been giving us.
Yeah, so make sure you go to lobosound.com/Bobo. And
Bobo by Lobo.
This is Bobo live at Lobo.
You Bobo, I Lobo.
It's funny because I knew Bobo was doing this, and he kept telling me there were songs of a humorous nature, and I didn't know. I didn't know what to make of that, because that could be Weird Al, or it could be like listening to
Wesley Willis.
Yeah, well, I love Wesley Willis, but it could be shitty comedy music, and I gotta say, I legitimately laugh my ass off. So hats off to Bobo for having he could spit fire. He spits hot fire. And the guys at Lobo Sound,
a little bit of artistic license. A lot of things he says, I think, are
callbacks.
As much as he wants to establish that he's not lying, he may stretch the truth.
It sounds like it sounds like Bobo's lying a lot. All right.
Well, you know what he does? He paints a picture.
He does, and with the words, I mean, how many times are you going to get to hear words like "Sansa's so hot, I want to sniff her yoga trousers. Even if she had crabs, I'd still sniff her yoga trousers."
It's beautiful.
So make sure you go to lobosound.com/Bobo. $5.99 gets you the EP, and he's got more stuff coming out. A Christmas album. So again, that's a shout out to the guys at lobosound.com. Make sure you go check them out. So why don't we jump right into our stuff from last week?
All right.
So I went first last week, I think.
You did. I think you want to go first this week.
Okay.
Just trust me on this.
All right. So last week you gave me a band that I was not necessarily familiar with, was Yeaslayer. and the album was
All Hour Cymbals.
All Hour Cymbals, which, by the way, when I wrote it down here, I completely spelt it wrong. I wrote all hour like they're hours, and I wrote symbols like an at sign, like symbols like that. So what was I supposed to know? So it took me like 10 minutes to find the album. So I'm gonna
You
say,
have to try really difficult to be that dumb.
so I know. Trust me, I don't try that hard. It just happens. So, you didn't tell me much about this album, so I really went in like not knowing anything. I talked to the landlord, and she knew like one song, and it was shortly after you had left last week that I listened to the first song, and the first Sunrise is the first song. I fucking liked that a lot.
You serious?
I liked the first song. I gave that actually a 3.5. The music was cool. I could understand everything he was saying. And then I get to the second track. And I'm going to just read you some of my notes here and not tell you what song they are. So this is just from the second track. It says, "What the fuck is this shit?"
What's the second track again?
Wait for the Summer.
Oh, yeah.
The third track, 2080, 1.5. I wrote great music because the music was great. My comment on another one is, again, what the fuck? Again, the next comment is, fuck you. Then it's creepy, what the fuck is what I wrote. Here's one comment. It's a 0.5 for the song Forgiveness, and I wrote why. Then I gave another one a 2, and I was like, this is okay enough, so I didn't leave a comment. Worms 1, I don't get this shit. 10 Waves. This is all I wrote. I remember I did not like Waves, but specifically the end of the song is a 1-minute silent outro. It's 1 minute of just dead silence. And then the last comment, I just wrote Lion King soundtrack. So there's a couple things I want to say about this album. I have it on 2 grade curves. I think if this was like a score to a movie, I think the soundtrack's really good because it's a little ambiguous, the way the music sounds. I can't understand anything the guy is saying in any song but the first one. And that just completely turns me off. But on the other hand, the music, specifically the rhythm section of the drummer and the bass player, are fucking great.
They're George Harrison drums. That's what I call them.
Yeah, well, I read your review, and I have to actually take umbrage with you on that in a minute, because you did some fake news shit to me. So I'm gonna twist it back at you. So it's weird because this album reminded me of a band I know the drummer of, but I actually liked that band a little bit more because it's usually not the kind of music I'd like, but the music was cool and I could understand the singing a little more. On this one, it sounded like a Lion King soundtrack on a lot of stuff. Like it sounded like it should have been like a music on a Broadway show or, like I said, a score to a movie. These guys are very talented. I did enjoy it more than Cut Copy by a mile. But overall, the chances of me putting on this album at choice, besides that song Sunrise, which I actually thought I literally gave that song a 3.5.
Sunrise might be the best.
So I thought that song was great, and I was like, wow, this is actually cool. And then when I heard the second song, I literally wrote, what the fuck is this shit? Because I didn't understand, and I even like looked up what the lyrics are, and I'm like, it doesn't sound, he's like, he's just making noises. Like
noises.
I just didn't understand like I said, the music is really good. So it was almost like I was comparing to, in some ways, but I did like Agalloch a lot more. Where I didn't necessarily love the singing on Agalloch, but the music was so good that it leveled it out for me.
Agalloch's a completely different.
Well, of course, it's a different genre. The screaming, but I'm talking about like lyrically. So this album, it's like if I'm talking just based on music, it's a 3. If I'm talking on lyrically, it's a fucking -3. But if I'm taking the 2, it's like a 1.5. I guess I understand the appeal because unlike Cut Copy, they are not trying to create a new sound, recreate an old sound. They have something that really I could probably say that only they corner the market on. Weird jungle beats.
Weird jungle beats.
Is that the best way to describe it?
So
what did you think my reaction to this was going to be?
So I actually didn't know. I didn't think it was going to be positive. But I also didn't. I didn't think. Your reaction's kind of where I thought it would be. The reason why this band intrigues me so much is every time they make a new album, they completely throw away what they did on the last album.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And sometimes it works. I think this album is one of their better ones. Their next one, they did a more. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't like Cut Copy's 80s sound, but it became more of a dance album. And it worked on some, but there were some. But they have like a dance song about Joe Louis and Ambling Amp, Max Schmeling.
That's
so
awesome.
Like you have like these. And like the lyrics are completely different on it. Like you can understand the guy. They have another album I heard. It's like more psychedelic. I haven't heard it yet. So I think the album itself, it's cool. I like it. I don't love it. but I like the idea and the artistic endeavor more than the actual work itself.
I would agree with that. I think artistically, you can tell the ingenuity that they took to this, and it's very well mixed. It's very well produced. It sounds good. It's just I was literally questioning myself, like, what the fuck is the point? But
I want to give you something, because this album does make me go what the fuck a lot, but I like being what the fuck.
Yeah,
that's something I enjoy.
Well, so where I wanted to take umbrage with you when I read your write up on this album on YouWatchIListen.com. My issue I took with your writing, where you painted me like I just didn't like Cut Copy because of the 80s sound. That was certainly part of it, and I suppose you could argue that it was the large part of it. But what I remember specifically stating is this album sounds like they had no fun making it. I didn't feel any joy, any passion. It was just like, hey, here's a couple sounds on a computer, and let's just put some lyrics over it. That was honestly my bigger issue. So making it sound like just fuck that 80s sound, although I did say fuck that 80s sound.
Well, here's the thing though. I wanted an album where you can't say, well, they're clearly trying to be something else.
And that's fair. And they definitely were not trying to be something else. So I could see the appeal of this album.
They're weird guys,
I would never recommend this to anyone unless it was like a mortal enemy on their deathbed, and that I can make sure this is the last thing they were hearing.
I guess it's world music. It would be classified.
World music.
I don't know.
What is world music?
The Yeaslayers,
is that like We Are the World?
like dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. What are you doing, Indiana Jones?
It could be the soundtrack to Indiana Jones.
No, it could. Yeah, maybe Crystal Skulls, because that one sucks ass.
Crystal Skulls isn't that bad.
No, it's really bad.
It's the worst of the Indiana Jones.
Watch it again.
Whatever.
All right, so let's go into your movie.
Okay, so you gave me Minority Report.
Yes, Minority Report.
Another Tom Cruise movie.
Yes.
And I'm watching the movie. Instead of giving...
Paint me a picture.
I'm going to just give you my observation. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, I like the aesthetic of this. You know, it's kind of generic, near future, but nothing, it's not bad, but it's nothing special. And
Correct.
I'm like, I've seen this before. I've seen,
almost
that
Blade
kind
Runner-ish.
Yeah, I kind of described it as brighter Blade Runner. I guess that'd be a good way to put it.
Well, I would say, honestly,
closer
to Total Recall.
Yeah,
it's
same author.
Same author, correct. So go on.
So I'm watching it, and it's very obviously a Spielberg movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got... I can't explain it, but when you see a Spielberg movie, there are scenes where you know that's
he knows how to capture like the intimacy of a scene, even on a grand scale.
I didn't particularly like the action scenes, only because I thought they took away a little of the overall plot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the philosophical and the ethical issues were more interesting than
the Colin Farrell storyline.
I thought the scene with the eyes, while I thought it was interesting, I thought it added length to the movie that it didn't need. So
that scene where he has the eye transplant,
I like the scene a lot,
but it drags a little bit.
It doesn't fit.
When he opens that fridge and that nasty ass food, that was gnarly.
I liked it. I liked the scene.
I agree that it adds the length, but the scene when the little spider robots come in and he's in the bathtub,
that was a great scene.
That's fucking cool.
It was a cool scene.
Very tense.
Very Spielberg scene where it's showing off. And I'm watching this movie, and I go like, I've seen this before. I've seen other artists do it. Halfway through, I realize I fucking have seen Minority Report. Not only parts of it, I've seen this entire movie before and forgot about it. So then once I remembered,
watch again, I listen once.
I remember distinctly the scene where it triggered me is when he puts that thing that makes him look like Artie Lang.
Or Rosie.
And he drops his eyeballs. I go, I've seen a movie where that exact thing happened. And they had balls with the future. I'm like, I fucking have seen Minority Report.
So I guess you hadn't seen it in a while if you didn't remember seeing it.
You know what it is? I saw it. I was in college, and it was on in the background. I think when we were in college, I lived in a frat house.
Correct.
Like a movie would be on, people would come in and out and be like, "Where are you watching Minority Report?" Whatever. And I guess I just forgot the name. I forgot I had seen it. So at that point, I remembered. I'm like, "Oh, okay." The spoilers go. So I didn't know how to grade it because it wasn't. I stopped taking notes where like, "Oh, I've never seen this," and went more into like, "Oh, I'm rewatching Minority Report." I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it the first time I saw it.
It's a really good movie. I was talking to Grohow the other night. And he said it's probably in his top 5 to 10 of sci-fi movies of all time. Which I would probably put it in mine for sci-fi.
I will say this: I think it has a lot of issues, but not issues like the way Gran Torino did, where it was an unbalanced movie. I think it's way too long.
Yeah.
I think
Spielberg.
I think it suffers from what I would like to call prestige syndrome, where they over-explain the ending. Which I like the ending. I didn't like when he confronts him and he goes, "You're doing this because you want." I understood that.
Here's the question: this is a hotly debated subject about the movie since it came out.
I read.
What do you take for the ending? I can watch that movie once a week, and I will have a different opinion on the ending every single time.
So you read that this is just his dream, or like not his dream, but his
before
his
he goes
memory of
before
events.
he goes into the prison, the confinement that they have for the prisoners from the pre-crime division. The guy who runs it, like the warden or whatever, says that they say before you go in, your life flashes before your eyes, and then all your wildest dreams come true. And the reason that I actually lend to that theory that the whole thing where the outcome of the movie, and spoiler alert, the guy who founded it with him is the one that set him up.
He
blah,
committed
blah, blah,
a murder.
Max von Sydow.
He had to create an elaborate murder to get the rights to the
precogs,
Oracle.
the
Yeah,
precogs.
the precog.
And the reason specifically is that nothing in this movie at any point came off like a happy ending, and then all of a sudden they give you a happy ending. I think the drastic tone and even the way that last scene is filmed is different than the previous ones.
Where it's showing him and his wife looking out into like a
correct.
I did read that theory. I didn't really think about when it was happening, but you know, I was reading on it as the movie went on because I'd already seen the movie, so like I wasn't being as engaged. I was kind of reading and getting theories while I'm watching.
Yeah.
And I have to disagree on that. No, I do understand it, and there's nothing in the movie I can prove to say.
Of course, I can't prove my theory either.
But I think the fact that it's a Spielberg movie, the fact that it deviates from how the book actually did end, I think, and Spielberg does have a habit of those kind of wrapping movies up in a nice bow, where while I guess he could easily say, or maybe he even considered it that way, I don't think it was intentional, and I don't think the viewer was intended to walk away from the movie with that idea. Because I think if he wanted to do that, because it's so heavy-handedly explained the end, I think he would have heavy-handedly put into which one is it, where I think it's way too subtle for the way the movie ended. If you understand what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I go back always to a guy that Spielberg and most great directors of the last 30 years are influenced by, Stanley Kubrick. And Spielberg does not necessarily leave mistakes or plot holes there that can easily be exploited, and things like the way the lens changed on the ending of the film, specifically that they had that scene with that warden guy previously where he was explaining it to him and he doesn't say it until right when Tom Cruise is going into prison. There's just a few things there that the way the tone drastically changed overall of the movie makes me think that if it was another director, I'd agree it was coincidental, but because it's Spielberg, and the whole point of the movie, and it even goes to the precogs, is that there could be two ways to look at this,
and it's free will against
of course
predetermination. And I understand the thing is those.
But
themes,
that's one of the reasons I love the
interesting
movie.
themes. I just think the movie, and this isn't a criticism,
of course,
so please don't take.
Of course,
it this way.
no, it's.
But
your own
I don't
opinion
think
of
the
it.
movie presents those ideas in an overly. It comes in a very simple, easy to digest. So I think leaving with a thought like that, which is very complicated and more of a mind fuck, doesn't really fit with the philosophical. That would actually be the weakest philosophical theme.
Yeah, of course.
What actually happened, where these much more complicated and, you know, you can rack your brain for years and never get an answer themes are kind of, I don't want to say spoon-fed, but they're presented very neatly and
I could agree with that.
That's why I think I'm sure he was aware of it, but if he wanted the viewer to leave with that idea, I think he would have made it more obvious in how he presented it.
Yeah, and that's possible.
And I guess that's
maybe
great
because
Spielberg that you could go back and forth like that, even if it's not overly intentional. I came away on the other side of that.
Maybe it's because I've seen the movie fucking like 24 times, and I've
seen it at least twice.
Yeah, obviously, and the fact that every time I watch it, like I said, I can come away with a different opinion on the ending each time is another reason I don't think it was an accident that he kind of wants to leave it up to what your opinion on it was. One of the coolest things, and this is something that has been brought up to people that have seen the movie a lot, is how much technology. This movie came out in 2002.
How much of it is actually in our lives?
Like
now.
the stuff on the screen being able to go like that.
I'll tell you the scene that creeped me out the most by far. When he goes in the Gap with the fake eyes, and she goes, "Hi, Mr. Yakamoto, do you want these?" And I said, "That's what we're in today."
Yeah,
where they know the people,
the facial recognition. That's how they just caught that shooter. And,
Target will send you things saying, "Hey, you're expecting a baby." They know us, our buying habits. They know us more than we know ourselves. And that was the one scene that made me go, "Ooh."
Yeah, man. I remember when I saw that movie. I saw it with Mike White, back in when it
Of
came
course
out
you
in
did.
like 8th grade, and I didn't know what to expect of it, but I like Spielberg and I like Tom Cruise, and I walked out of that movie like loving it, and I own it.
It's a good movie.
It's definitely, I mean, Spielberg with sci-fi, you really, really can't go wrong.
I don't like it. I'll tell you the one criticism I did have it. I didn't particularly think it was Tom Cruise's best film. I think Tom Cruise was good
it's not
in
his
it,
best film. I mean,
but I think the movie was strong enough that anybody could have carried it. I don't really think of it as a Tom Cruise. Like, for instance,
but this was before Tom Cruise's box office prestige started to wear off.
Edge of Tomorrow, for example. I think Tom Cruise in that role,
He perfected that role.
That's Tom Cruise's role.
Yeah, I agree
didn't
with
really
that.
get this from this. I mean, you could have had, Clive Owen. I think you would have had the same movie.
I actually kind of like Clive Owen.
I love
He's
Clive
been in
Owen.
some good shit. Did you ever see Shoot 'Em Up with Clive
Yes,
Owen?
I have, actually.
That dude, that was one I thought I was gonna hate, and I laughed
Clive
so
Owen,
hard.
I wish he was the next James Bond. He's a little old now, but before they took
Daniel
Blondie.
Craig. Oh yeah, Daniel Craig back. All right, so actually, I wanted to. I got to read you a couple of things. I have these in my phone. So last week, we reviewed Gran Torino, or you reviewed Gran Torino, and you
Yeah.
got some nice feedback on that.
Oh yeah, I'm.
You are a social justice warrior, just so you know.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, this comment was probably my favorite. This came from Rodney, and
Who's Rodney?
he's a guy I know who he listens to us for. Hi, Rodney. Rodney. Oh, and I see Mikayla just walked in, so we'll get to her in a little bit. So let me pull up Rodney's comment about it. Let me see. Come on. Okay, here we go. This was one of. Feel free to tell Ralph, from a black man to a white man, enjoy and embrace your whiteness. You have nothing to apologize for. Last time I checked, you didn't own any slaves. But hey, if you want to feel bad that you owe him $60,000 in reparations, and he wants his reparations in chicken and watermelon.
Okay, so a couple things. One, the reparations actually, literally from the Civil War were 40 acres and a mule. So I don't know where the $60,000 came from. That literally was the deal, which the United States didn't really follow through with. And two, I don't think I apologized at any point.
Well, I think they said that you sounded the overall theme that I got from people was that you sounded like you were you had white guilt.
Oh yeah, you know me real well, and that really
I mean,
describes me.
you really are. You always portray as a social justice warrior. So, like, I said it to you when you were
see me,
saying
I'm
it.
always protesting.
When you were talking about it last week, and I said to you, I'm like, yo, people are gonna call you a social justice warrior. Someone said, tell Ralph to not be so soft. Let's see, Ralph didn't get the movie.
I didn't. I didn't know what was going on.
Your co-host is an SJW. There was one other I'm trying to find.
By the way, can you?
I agree with Ralph. There's one.
Can you please? By
I think
the way,
that was a burner account.
Can you? What was it?
It was Comancho from the 76ers.
Was it Oliver Tweed?
Yeah.
Can you? By the way, can you send these over to my fiance, who has the exact opposite? Comments on me. Why I'm such an asshole. Why am I always angry?
Yeah,
why am I
dude,
yelling at
I love
infomercials?
I love when people call me a social justice
You
warrior.
are, dude.
I know,
That's-
apparently. So, actually, I named the theme of this episode on my notes is Ralph the SJW.
That's fine.
I'm trying off the top of my head. There are some
Super jambalaya. I'm trying to think of an acronym and I can't think of anything.
super jambalaya. All right.
Woman.
So, what did I have here? Did you have something?
Yeah,
I have
actually,
a couple things. Go for
I have
it.
a couple things. So, two things. Jim Carrey's got a new role.
Is it his fucking shitty paintings?
No. So when you think of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise,
No, I know.
and when you think of their villain, Dr. Robotnik, you think of Jim Carrey, right?
I think of Clint Howard.
It's the role of a lifetime.
He's playing Dr.
He's Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic movie.
They should just take out.
And by the way, his quotes on it make it sound like this was like the role he's been waiting for.
Yeah, you can tell how his life is going.
I really hope.
Go fucking preach some more anti-vax stuff.
They said it's CGI, but I don't know if that's CGI like Avatar CGI or like incredible CGI. I hope that Dr. Robotnik looks like Jim Carrey wearing prosthetics.
My guess it'll probably be like
Live action.
how they did Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, where
Oh, I hope so.
I'm gonna guess.
I want this to be The Grinch, which is your favorite movie, times 10.
Has anyone ever asked for a live action Sonic movie?
Every day of my life. Before I came up here, I said, "Dude, good news. Guess what? We're finally
What's the
getting."
best Sonic game?
Sonic 2.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic and Knuckles is an add-on to Sonic 2, though. Oh no, it's its own game too.
It's
You're
its
right.
own game. It's the third one.
They're equal. I don't know. If
didn't see 2. I liked, but I hated that under that water game, like the casino water.
First of all, those are 2 different levels.
Whatever.
There's
I
a
guess
casino
so.
world.
I haven't played Sonic 2 in God knows how long.
We have the N60.
We do have
the Sega over here.
We do have the Sega.
I got one of those cheap all-in-one 80 games on it, but it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, dude, those things
barely works.
I still need to get the Super Nintendo Classic and actually.
It's fantastic.
How often do you play it?
I played it for a long time. Then I got an N64, and I've been playing that.
I'm still just kind of not getting the Jim Carrey casting. There was a lot of other people.
When you think of Dr. Robotic, you think of Jim Carrey. They've been calling
I think of
for years.
I think of Wayne Knight more than I think of Jim Carrey.
Wayne Knight's playing Sonic. They're just literally pulling names from '90s actors out.
Caitlyn Jenner's playing Tails.
Knuckles is Will Smith.
Oh. Wow, that was really racist. You're now you're not a social justice warrior. Just if you want to remedy it, you're just gonna start saying terribly racist.
By the way,
things.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. That has nothing to do with race, and somehow people will bring it together and be like, "What a racist thing!" Will Smith,
I was
Knuckles.
doing. Yeah, exactly. So wait, I have a serious proposition and question for you, and I think that you're the only person that can answer this. And I brought up this discussion on Twitter the other day and got some feedback.
Yeah.
So the other night, I got a little intoxicated, and I was like, "What am I going to watch?" And what do you think I put on? Guess.
Minority Report?
No, I put on Terminator 2.
You. By the way, you phrase that question as if like, how can Ralph get that question?
I was hoping you were going to say something ridiculous, but I put on Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Do you want to try it again? You want me to say something
Yeah.
ridiculous?
What? No, I don't.
No, do it.
What movie did I watch, Ralph?
Ernest Goes to Camp.
No, I watched that yesterday, though.
By the way, I know that you're kidding, but there's a good chance you're not kidding.
So,
I got grounded once, and my dad took my Ernest Goes to Camp movie away.
I was watching Terminator 2, and I had a big conundrum. So the scene specifically that I was bothered by, and I've had this discussion with people before, is that when Arnold Schwarzenegger walks into the bar, you know the scene I'm talking when he first walks in the bar, and
it's early in the movie.
Your clothes, your shoes, give them to me. He's ass naked, and when he walks in the bar, the first person he sees is this woman bartender, and she looks him up and down. And when she looks down at his genitals, she smiles. So like she's impressed. So that would imply that the Terminator has a big dick, correct?
Yes.
She wouldn't smile. Okay, so
yes.
Now a Terminator, the T-800 or T-101 Cyberdyne system, Series 4.
Shut up.
It's a human. It's living, growing tissue over a metal exoskeleton. How does the Terminator's dick work? Does he constantly have an erection?
A hydraulic system.
But how would it appear flaccid? So is he always rocking a fucking
boner?
So
this is what I think it is. I think inside where there would be a reservoir for like oil, coolant or whatever, it contains a hydraulic fluid. When the situation arises, there's an elaborate pump and balance system, pressure system that pumps it into the genitals, gives him the erection. He does whatever he needs to do with it, and then. And it probably is loud and it goes down.
His dick makes a noise.
Yeah, kind of like a crane.
So then when I ended up going on, I watched all the Terminator movies, and then I watched Terminator 3, and there's the scene with the female Terminator where she makes her tits bigger. So that would probably elaborate on that.
Yeah, they perfected it. That's a double hydraulic system.
You think his dick could just flop around like flaccid? And what about his ball? How do his balls work?
They're just decoration.
They're just decoration, but do they like? Could you give a Terminator like a hand job?
I think it's a battery system. It's probably a battery.
This is like, it really bugs me that like.
Yeah,
that,
you could.
But because like I would think if you look at everything else, everything is rock solid. He takes off when he cuts his arm off. It's obviously metal and looks crazy.
It's probably some sort of like spongy. I'd say industrial.
So you're telling me Skynet became so aware that it knew how to properly create a genital system.
Yes.
Skynet went live.
Yes.
So there were some other things that pissed me off. That it's my favorite action movie of all time. But
does he need to take shits?
I don't think so. But this is the other one that bothered me. When the two Terminators are going to find John Connor in the mall, and Arnold's walking.
Does the Terminator need to get plugged in?
Like charge?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think because they have that it's almost like a nuclear system in them that can explode.
So they probably do need to get waste heat off somehow. So he probably does shit radioactive waste and piss it out. And so I think that they
actually. So you're telling me Terminator took place in Flint, Michigan? Yeah, just right to the water.
There's just these glowing yellow turds behind him as he's running.
So this is the other thing that bothered me. So we know the Terminator can't be reasoned with. He doesn't use logic. Why did Arnold's Terminator know that he can't just walk into a mall with a shotgun. So he went and bought a box of roses to put the shotgun in. And where did he get the currency to buy the roses? Or did he just steal them? Which again, I think
I think that they foresaw this when they send him back. So they gave him about $10.99.
But they couldn't send anything back. You can't send anything dead back.
That's right. They gave him a PIN number and he went to the bank?
But the logical thing here would be is that he stole it, just like he stole guns in the first one. But that means that he had the thought process to then... he's like, I can't walk around with the shotgun, when in the first one he walked around and killed whatever.
Well, he was a bad guy in the first one.
Yeah, of course. And then he knew that he had to put it in a box of roses because the roses are the only thing that could fit his 12-gauge shotgun. I don't know. There's as much as I think it's the greatest action movie of all time, there are some major plot holes, and I need to get in touch with James Cameron and also get to the bottom of the Termadick.
Yeah, I think this is a hot issue. I think people have, it's been all over Twitter, the Terminator 2 conundrum, for this movie that came out, 25 years ago?
Terminator 2 was 1991, so... Yeah,
26.
And what's amazing for that movie, despite all
by the
these
way, I
years,
agree with you. I think it's the best action movie.
I think it's the most complete action movie, and the first one is in its own right. They might be it could arguably be the greatest first and second movies next to The Godfather of all time.
In that genre.
But honestly, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, you could argue The Godfather 1 and 2, Aliens, Star Wars, Empire, and then Terminator 2, and outside of that, I mean, Die Hard 2 is a significant drop off.
I've seen Die Hard 2, but it's like
if
I saw it, it would be the same thing with Minority Report, going like, I remember
this.
Oh wait,
I guess Lethal Weapon 2, they're both really good. So you could put
all the Lethal Weapons are they can blend together.
I would want to say Mission Impossible, but I think the 3, 4, and 5 are so much better than 1 and 2. So I mean, the Terminator has to be in the first two have to be, but then after 2, it's a significant drop off in quality. As much as I still,
it's not that bad.
You know what? I thought that, and then when I watched it the other night, it did not age well. Like when they.
So wait, let me get this. I've been arguing that Terminator 3 stinks. I finally agree with you, and you go, actually, you were right.
Yeah, there's some things I like about it. Like there's some really cool stuff, but Nick Stahl as John Connor is terrible.
By the way, I'm losing track of who's John. Like they have a different actor in every movie.
Yeah, and I don't know who's playing him in the new one they're making. Yeah,
but is Arnold in it?
Yes, Arnold's in it. Actually, I really like the most recent one. Genesis was actually pretty cool.
I didn't see it because they spelled Genesis wrong.
Well, it wasn't Sega Genesis. It's different. It was its own system, Genesis.
Whatever.
No, it was cool, though. Amelia Clarke played Sarah Connor. Who was John I don't even remember who John Connor... Oh, I do now. It was the guy from Rise of the... Or Dawn of Planet of the Apes. Clive Owen can't just be in everything.
Well, he should be. He's playing Knuckles.
Now, actually, I have a little assignment for you in the next week. This was a debate that we got onto on Twitter the other day with a group of our friends when one of them, the host of In the Pit... Taylor Micah made the absurd proclamation that the Big Mac is the worst fast food item and that it's terrible.
Do you want me to bite my tongue?
Well, no. This is so you don't have to love the Big Mac, but my point was if you made a Mount Rushmore of fast food specialty items,
I could do this. I don't even need to think about it.
Okay, but the Big Mac has to be on the Mount Rushmore of fast food specialty items. It has to be. It's the Big Mac and the Whopper, the two that cannot be moved.
Are these my personal or are these as a societal whole?
Societal.
Okay, I personally do not like the Big Mac.
You just had a Grand Mac 2 months ago, you stupid asshole.
Completely red herring argument.
No.
You had one, so you must love it.
Why would you get it if you don't like it?
First of all,
okay, you try everything.
Me, how many things have I brought here going, this is going to suck, and eat it, and then we
yourself.
I think McDonald's of the big 3 fast food places, Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, is my least favorite.
Okay.
I do understand its pop culture. I understand the Big Mac's an iconic sandwich. I think of all the big major sandwiches, if you go Baconator, which I guess would be the Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
The Whopper.
Which is crazy because it's recent Baconator. It's not that old.
They never really had that iconic sandwich. They had, I guess,
Dave's Hot and Juicy.
Yeah, but it's just a burger.
It's got to be the Baconator for Wendy's. The Whopper.
I think Big Mac is a distant third, but for an iconic, it's like the Sgt. Pepper's. I don't particularly like Sgt. Pepper's.
It made fast food restaurants want to have a specialty standalone item.
Yes.
So
you can only get a Big Mac at McDonald's.
Yeah, correct. And it's still like the #1 selling item for fast food. I looked into it like by a long shot.
How about that asshole who only eats the Big Macs with his sideburns? I hate that guy.
Could you do that?
No, I don't want to do that.
I need to come up with a food challenge for you. And I think it might be.
I eat the zebra cakes.
Yeah, but you do that on your own without for the show. That's 100% true.
By the way, can we talk about how I'm always eating healthy? I'm like legitimately trying to get in
shape.
shape.
Come here,
and then I come here, and then it's like, let's eat the, and it's usually me. It's usually my idea.
So,
it's my food.
So let's finish up this fast food Mount Rushmore societal wise. It's got to be Big Mac Whopper.
Does it have to be food, or can it be beverages as well?
I want it to be food, and I want it to be a.
Well, I'm going to throw one in here, and you can decide whether or not.
Blast.
Not the Baja Blast. The Frosty. I think the Frosty's importance to dessert is almost equivalent to.
Couldn't you then, in turn, also argue it was one of the first menu items they had was the McDonald's apple pie?
McDonald's apple pie, you can make a strong argument should be on there. I think Frosty's a little more deserving, but I think apple
agree.
Pie is.
I want to go with actual like dinner items.
So just
no fries,
just
sandwiches. Yeah,
because if you want to put fries in there,
you'd have to
curly
put
fries.
So I think we go Big Mac Whopper. Then I think Baconator's earned its place.
Baconator, because Baconator has staying power.
Exactly. Now, fourth is where it's going to get tough.
Yeah.
Do you put the White Castle slider? I don't like White Castle personally, but is the White Castle slider it is White Castle's always open crazy late?
No.
Okay,
I don't put.
what would go in its
it
place?
hurts me. I need to think what to put in its place. I can't put the White Castle slider in there. I think the White Castle itself is critically underrated. I disagree with you. I love White Castle. I think Harold and Kumar, their movie, completely nailed the aesthetic of White Castle and everything it stands for. But I can't put the slider in there.
What about? I just had it in my fucking head.
Literally,
damn it!
It's coming out your ears.
Damn. Oh, I guess you could be. We have to consider the fast food restaurants that we do not have at our disposal out here. An animal style burger from In-N-Out is extremely popular.
I would like to put it there. I never had one. I know you've had.
I've had In-N-Out,
but I can't. I don't know enough about it. It very well should be on there.
You could argue the Five Guys burger, which I can't stand.
Okay, I'm putting it. I'm putting it on there.
Five Guys?
No.
What?
I don't know if you're gonna agree with me. The McChicken. The McChicken, it changed the game.
I could give you that.
I'm not a big fan of chicken
I'd be
sandwiches.
lying to you if I told you I did not just have 2 McChickens a couple weeks ago. This is when we went.
Wow! You really
listen,
poured your heart out on this
So
one.
when we went to see Hereditary. I stopped and got McDonald's on the way, and like I get out of the car, and Justin's in his car eating Wendy's, and then we go in the movie theater.
You guys make 2 stops.
Well, Justin met us at the movie theater.
Okay.
So he's in his car eating Wendy's, and then we go inside the theater, and I sit down next to Justin, and he's watching me, and I reach into the zipper pocket on my sweatpants, and I pull out a McChicken, and in the other pocket fries. Brought him into the movies.
I want to judge you, but I would do the same.
Of course you would.
After we were finished recording one of our shows, I think it was the Grohow episode, I stopped at the McDonald's in our town around the corner. And you know how, it's so poorly run, that McDonald's?
Not anymore.
It's, you know what? It's better.
It is better.
But it's still...
of course, compared to like a normal McDonald's and not a West Mumford one.
So I ordered a McChicken, which I very rarely get. I was like, I'm in the mood for a McChicken. And they said, okay, it's not ready yet. I'm like, I'm ordering one thing. How's it not ready?
It's not even a real chicken patty. Just fucking throw it on the hot asphalt for a minute.
So I go park. Guy comes out 10 minutes later. I listened to the top of an inning, the bottom of an inning, and the top of another inning of a Yankee game. Severino was pitching, so they were quick innings, but still. Guy walks out, hands me it. It's not even in a bag. Literally just hands me the sandwich. Now, granted, I only ordered one thing, so I get it.
It'd be great if it wasn't wrapped.
A bite's taken out of it. He goes, hi, I'm Randy. Thank you for your service. And he walked off.
Thank you for your
Then
service.
he took 2 steps, turned around, and he said, what's your name? And I said, Ralph. And he goes, looks at me like a movie, winks, and goes, thank you for shopping at McDonald's.
He did it like Clint Eastwood. He
I looked
pointed
at my
at you.
sandwich, and I went, what did he do to this sandwich? But I was so hungry, I just convinced myself.
You really didn't care.
No.
All right, so I'm glad. I do want you to. I think for next week, what I want you to get for me, because I think you're the right person for this.
Yeah.
Your top 10 fast food items.
I have to bring them here?
No, just rank them for me.
Oh, I can do that by the end of the show.
I want it for next week.
I
want an in-depth explanation.
You know what I'll do? I will write up
a thesis.
A thesis.
Okay, cool.
That's not what a thesis is, by the way.
Now, before we go into our next
You're
picks, I think we should do our picks before we bring our guest in. But beyond that, there was one other thing I wanted to bring. I might have been one more thing, maybe 2. Let me see. Okay, this is my last thing. Watchmen. The movie
Watchmen. Yeah.
Watchmen. So I watched that the other night as well.
Maria hates Watchmen.
I'll tell you, man. The first time I saw it in the theater, I liked it, but I didn't know how much I liked it. And it was one of the more times I saw it, I liked it more and more. And when I watched it like 2 nights ago for the first time in probably 3 years, and I watched Zack Snyder's Ultimate Cut, which is like 3 hours and 15 minutes or whatever. It's really not that good of a movie. It's very, very uneven. I looked up exactly, if you took out the slow motion from it, it's 23 minutes shorter. There's scenes that are just pointless, and every action scene has to have slow motion. It's a Zack Snyder
That was really
staple.
big at that time too, though.
But he does it in.
He
that's
does
what
it more
he's
than anyone.
in 300. That's what he's notorious for. Some of the acting, the girl that plays Silk, the new Silk Spectre, she's terrible. Malin, whatever her name is.
I've only watched it once. And I didn't care
the guy that
for it.
The guy that plays Night Owl, who I think is a really good actor, Patrick Wilson, is horrible in it. The guy that plays Horshack, Jackie Earl Haley, fantastic, very underrated actor. The guy that plays Dr. Manhattan, very good.
Do you think part of the issue with that movie, and I don't think this is the entire problem with it, but part of it is the graphic novel, and I'm calling it a graphic novel.
Yeah, of course.
Is such an iconic, beloved, almost like it's sacrilege to say anything against it. It's so highly regarded that unless that movie was perfect, and I'm saying it's an imperfect movie, I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate, that it was whatever he produced was not going to be good enough.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think it was just a very poor director taking stuff that did work. But you also, like I said, the casting was a big part of it. Like, two of the main characters driving the main storyline in Silk Spectre and Night Owl were terrible.
Do you think the non-director's cut is better? Because very rarely the regular theatrical cut's better.
I feel the same way about both of them, honestly. I think
give it another
some
shot.
of the best things about the movie are the soundtrack, the use of music to tell the story. I thought that was. I don't give Zack Snyder much credit for his ability to tell a story with direction, but with the music, he did it very well. But like the guy, like I said, the guy who's the villain, Osmodeus or whatever his name is, the smartest man in the world, he was terrible. The comedian was great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he was great. So it just, I still like. There's some things I really like about the movie, but it's very uneven. By the time it gets to the end, it's so anticlimactic because of the buildup. The ending is terribly anticlimactic.
It makes me really nervous because I'm not we've established it every episode. I'm not a comic guy.
Yeah.
There's one comic book though that I absolutely love.
What's that?
The Sandman.
Yeah,
I think the Sandman is absolutely
Sandman's awesome.
It's beautiful. I think it's the only that could be considered like a novel in the genre, even more than Watchmen. Which is Watchmen's great too. I love Watchmen as well, but I think Sandman's kind of the pinnacle. And I'm so nervous that they're going to do a live action version of it. Like,
they're probably going to. They just cast Jared Leto to play the vampire from the Marvel universe.
They're going to fuck it up.
Well, this is where I'm a little excited with Watchmen, because it's being produced as an HBO show now, and it's being made by Damon Lindelof, who made The Leftovers, which I really like.
I think it works so much better.
And this
in a
is the thing. Jeffrey Irons was just cast as the lead. Don't know who he's playing. It's not going to necessarily follow the storyline, the story arc of the comics, but it's going to take place in the world of the comics with the characters that were secondary characters.
That might be great.
And it takes place in 1997 when the heroes started being outlawed. So that could end up being really cool, and it will bring in your other characters. It'll bring in Dr. Manhattan. It'll bring in the comedian. So I think that's going to end up being a lot cooler, that it's not confined to the arc of the comic and having to put a different twist on it. Like the twist in the movie was significantly different than the twist in the comic. In the movie, in the book,
I'd watch that. I think that's interesting.
I think, and like I said, I love The Leftovers, so I trust this guy. So I'm very excited to see how that goes.
Real quick, going back to Sandman.
Yeah.
I think Sandman's version of death is the greatest in any form of media.
Yeah,
a pretty like goth girl. It's completely out of left field. They nailed it. She's likable. I think that was probably my favorite character in any comic book ever.
I could agree with that. I'm like I said, I am looking forward to the Watchmen thing. Actually, before we do our picks, there was a couple other things. There was something I saw yesterday that I saw on Facebook, and it just made me really mad.
Real quick, can I do a story real quick?
Go for it.
So, I read the story literally last night while I was falling asleep. It came up on my Facebook news feed, and I was like, I need to bring this to the show. Have you heard this? Master Skip?
No.
Okay.
Is this my homework assignment?
No. This isn't a homework assignment. Skip Chasey, he's a top deal maker in Hollywood. He's worked on shows such as 24 and Arrested Development, Parenthood as well. Skip Chasey is also known as Master Skip in the S&M community, and has held 250 seminars on safe bondage and master pup play.
So was he nice when you met him?
Skip Chasey was investigated for murder because in November of this year, this high-ranking executive had his partner wrapped up in cellophane and accidentally suffocated him during a BDSM.
Wow.
But he just got acquitted. They said there was no evidence that it was a murder, and he's keeping his job.
Wow.
24 in Arrested Development's keeping Master Skip on board.
So you can so in Hollywood here, you can keep your job for murder.
Accidental murder.
Accidental murder.
It wasn't manslaughter. They said it was completely accidental. So,
well, Janoris Jenkins should call that guy up and meet my brother.
His company, which let me see what the company's name is. Hold on. William Morris. The statement from William Morris is, while we were aware of the circumstance surrounding this personal matter,
it's a personal. Yes, it's not like he had a fucking hangnail.
We understand that the police file is closed and no charges were brought. If other facts develop, we will reevaluate the situation and determine when appropriate action is to be taken. William Morris said in a statement. Master Skip got a freebie.
He got everyone should have one freebie when it comes to accidentally killing
By
someone.
the way, Master Skip, they must have based the character Tobias off of him because they look exactly the same.
That's awesome. So the other thing I had for you before we go into our picks is this infuriated me when I saw it.
Sure.
It's a news article, and the headline says, "Crows are as smart as 7-year-old humans."
I believe it.
Okay, why am I impressed by that? A 7-year-old's a fucking idiot. I'm not impressed by a 7-year-old. And what is a crow going to do with a 7-year-old's intelligence? It's still a fucking bird. Why is that a news story?
Are we doing the crow thing? You want to do the crow thing?
What do you mean the crow thing?
This. You want to do the crow
What's the thing? Yeah, do the fucking thing. Do the
Is
bit.
it just an excuse for you to yell? Or do you want to actually talk about crow?
I want to know why that's a news story. Why a crow being as smart as a 7-year-old... A 7-year-old's a moron.
A 7-year-old can do basic math. When's the last time a golden retriever said 2 plus 2 is 5?
Okay, that's great. They didn't say it's the brain of a 7-year-old. They said that's smart. Doesn't mean it can understand fucking math. What is a crow going to do with the intelligence of a 7-year-old human under any circumstance?
Crows remember faces. Crows leave.
But they can't know to get out of the way of the road when I'm fucking driving by and they're eating roadkill.
Well, they need to get their food somehow.
No, exactly.
They don't have currency.
So being as smart as a 7-year-old, you know what it tells me? It's still pretty fucking stupid. Because I can outsmart a 7-year-old, almost any 7-year-old.
I would hope so.
That's why I said almost. There's nothing impressive about that.
If a 7-year-old's without their parents, I guarantee within weeks, hours, they will be on the road eating roadkill. 7-year-olds are only...
Or in my basement.
Every goddamn week.
With the kid jokes.
Every fucking week. And then we're really heating up, Ralph. Look at the numbers. Maybe we can get a sponsor. And then there's another kid touching joke.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Accidental manslaughter.
Master Skip.
But
Master Skip actually killed a crow. Let's just
a 7-year-old crow.
Is a 7-year-old crow smarter?
A 7-year-old boy.
How do crows live?
I don't know. Because I see him dead on the road all the time.
No, they eat dead things.
And like I said, a 7-year-old would be smart enough to get out of the way of a car.
A crow remembering someone's face is very impressive. Dolphins don't even do that.
Why is it impressive? And what do we like? If we had a conversation with the crow, where he's like, "Oh, James, I remember you from summer school."
I'm taking the topic from
Shut up
from the show with Ken, where I said that I think crows are going to rule.
No, they're not.
They're the successors.
They're not going to rule because a 7-year-old wouldn't rule. A 7-year-old child is a fucking idiot.
Wait, what was the guy's name in Minority Report? Was his name Crow?
Leo Crow.
Crow. Listen, Leo Crow's smarter than a 7-year-old.
I am smarter than any 7th grader. I'm pushing it there. Any 7-year-old, I am.
You thought the name of the album was All Hours, and then like the ad sign.
All Hour Cymbals. But wait. I am smarter than any 7-year-old alive. And
no, I don't believe it.
No, I'm 100% sure on this.
Can you do a Rubik's Cube?
Give me a 90%.
I saw a kid who had to be 5 do a Rubik's Cube.
And that same kid went home, stuck his finger in his asshole, and then put it in his mouth. So he's not that smart.
Again, that's a wash compared to you.
Yeah, true. But not only are they stupid, there's not a 7-year-old alive that could not beat in a fight. I could beat any 7-year-old in a fight easily. At least if one of the even give me like multiple 7-year-olds and I'll fight all of them at once and I'll kick the shit out of them.
That's a Ron Fez bit. How many 9-year-olds could you fight?
I could 9-year-olds you're pushing it. Maybe 4, anything more than 4 I would be pushing it.
Well, they're coming one at a time. Are they
one at a time.
Are they marching or 4
I'm going to grab each fucking 9-year-old and I'm just going to push their head back and bite their throat out.
I don't want to do this bit because Ron and Fez did it so perfectly. Like,
you can't really top it.
It's like a cover of the Beatles.
So can you disagree with me that being like if
I
told you
interesting.
our next guest Mikayla is as smart as a 7-year-old, what would you say?
I'd say I feel bad for Mikayla.
Yeah, because she's clearly brain damaged.
She's not a crow.
We're celebrating. We're celebrating that a crow is as smart as a moron.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not impressive to me. Crows are stupid. Birds are stupid. I don't like them.
I hope you have the bird situation tonight. You're walking to your car and they just peck your eyes out.
I hope that too.
And you fall. You're found with your stupid glasses.
And I'm wearing a hat. And my hat blows away.
Your hat blows away. And then a 7-year-old runs up and kicks your stupid eyeless head and goes, "I win."
All right, let's go to our picks. Oh, no, let's do our picks because I want to just jump into our guest.
Do you want to go first or you want me to go?
I'll go first.
All right.
So I'm gonna throw you a curveball. I think for our specialty of episode 10, not only are we having our first...
Wait, is our 10th episode?
You opened it with that. Yeah.
Hey!
Can you please put it... Don't tell anyone and edit this out, but put a clapping sound over this, but just edit out this part.
No. This is...
All right. So for episode 10... All right, we get it.
10th episode?
Are you done?
Yet.
I think everyone just turned off the show. Simultaneously, I'm going to look at like the analytics, and it's going to tell me the exact moment people stop listening.
Well, you would think after 8 episodes they would know by now
that you're an ass.
Yeah.
So I think
we've done 8 episodes, right?
10th episode.
10. Okay, I'm done.
So for the 10th episode, I want to mix it up. I'm going to give you an album.
No.
And you're going to give me a movie.
What?
Yes. That's how
you
we're
listen. I watch.
No, it's still you watch, I listen, but on the banners, I'm just going to switch where we usually are. Usually I'm on the right and you're on the left. So, actually, I kind of did that on this banner this week, so...
No, I'm on the left, clearly.
Yes, that's true, you're on the left. You're alt-left.
What is alt? Oh, I guess that's Antifa would be alt-left.
They're morons. So, the album I'm going to give you... because
Antifa's run by crows.
Leo Crow. So I'm going to give you an album that I guarantee you've never heard, and most people haven't heard besides a few of my inside K1 guys.
The Bobo
not KY.
EP?
No. This you might want to write this down. The band is 123. That's 1, 2, 3.
The 1, 2, 3 Kid?
No, not the 1, 2, 3 Kid. And the album is called Big Weather. Okay? So this is not a band I would normally necessarily be into. So I'm a little biased because I actually am friends with the drummer. This band has been pretty successful. Their music has been was on a commercial for The Walking Dead this past year. It's been on NFL commercials before. They've been on a bunch of CW shows. They're not together anymore because the lead singer joined some kind of cult out in California. So you know he's a little strange. So it's called Big Weather. It's
I like my lead singers in cults. I think you get better.
When I was listening to Yeaslayer, there were some things that kind of reminded me of 1, 2, 3, except 1, 2, 3 involves much more singing, but it's a little weird. The whole concept of this album, and Joshua Sickles is the name of the drummer. He might correct me here, but the concept of the album is like the end of the world and different types of Armageddon scenarios. There's my favorite song.
Okay, wait. So let me get this straight. Lead singer is in a cult.
Yes, in California.
Writes music about the end of the world. I think this has been done before.
Yeah, right? It's Charles Manson. So the song, my favorite song on the album, it's called "When the Levee Broke at the County Fair." So highlight that one. It is it's an hour-and-a-half album. It's like 27 songs.
Is it a double album?
On Spotify it would not be a double album. If you bought the album, it was a double album, but it doesn't present as a double album. It does not. I promise you, it does not present as a double album. It's a concept album.
I'll be fair. I don't particularly care for double albums, but I also. This is the first time I'm doing it in this role, so I'll do my best to be.
Yeah, I think I said, it does not present as a double album because some of the songs are really short. There's definitely some of that. There are things on the album I don't like, but I wanted to give you something a little weird that I actually think, listening to some of the shit you've presented me, that you might like.
I very rarely get an album where I just completely reject it and hate it. Like even stuff I don't like, I'll be like, I get it.
You get it, yeah. Not like me. And again, the band is called 123. The album is Big Weather. The drummer is a good friend of mine, Josh Sickles. He actually now runs a highly rated and very successful. He opened up his own pizza place in Pittsburgh, where it's like New York style pizza in Pittsburgh. So if you're anywhere near Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Cincinnati, go to Rockaway Pizzeria. Tell them that You Watch, I Listen, Dan sent you, and maybe Joshua will hook you up. So your album is Big Weather by 123.
All right. Well, you put me on the spot here, so I'm supposed to give you a movie. I
Yes.
need to think of one. Have you ever heard of? Okay, I got a movie for you. It's a movie called Star Wars.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, so I'm going to give a movie only because I know that you haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a while because, again, I wasn't planning on doing this. It's a documentary. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's called An Honest Liar.
An Honest Liar. What's it about?
So it's about James Randi, who is a well-known skeptic. He's a magician, and he's very big into the...
Is this the Masked Magician?
It's a Masked Magician. By the way, there is nothing better when you can't find something to watch in the Masked Magician. You know what? Our next segment, I'm going to bring up Masked Magician because that is a guilty fucking pleasure.
So he's a skeptic of magic, or
not of magic, but of
wizardry.
Telemundo. Telemundo. He doesn't believe it.
It's a Telemundo skeptic.
Like guys like Uri Geller who do like bending. He works actively to discredit them.
Okay.
And it goes through his life how he got into that. He's the mentor to my personal heroes, Penn and Teller.
Okay.
So they got a lot of their philosophy, their libertarian worldview from this guy.
Okay.
How to critically think. But he also has a fascinating personal life, which only came out when this documentary was made. Like, nothing was really known about him personally. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever had. I'm a little biased because I love this guy, like James Randi.
Okay. Where is it? Do you know if it's on Netflix or
it was on Netflix. You can easily find it, I'm sure.
I'm going to go ahead and just download it to the server right now.
I'm pretty sure. But great movie. I think it's fascinating. For a guy that I knew a lot of, I got a lot of stuff I didn't know out of it, which I think is that's a mark of a good documentary. That it,
I was hoping you were going to give me some Michael Moore documentary.
Michael Moore made this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Bowling for Honest Liar.
Bowling for Magic. Bowling for the Masked Magician.
I was thinking of another movie just now that I just know you would hate because I hated this movie. Nah, we'll save it for another time.
Okay. All right. So again, the picks this week are 123's album Big Weather and the documentary An Honest Liar. We mixed it up this week where I'm giving Ralph music and he's giving me a movie.
I watch, you listen. You watch, I listen. What's the name of our show?
I still think it's I listen to you watch.
Listen, watch, I you.
Yeah, exactly. Watch, listen, you I. All right. So
real quick before we go to our guest, I do want to thank. We have a new logo.
Yes, we got to thank
the fiance.
On a really cool logo.
As much as I would like to beat her up, metaphorically.
Wow, you're being a real social justice warrior again.
Would I be a social justice? Because I'm not beating her.
Yes, because you won't beat her up.
It's all confusing now.
Yeah, if you don't beat up your significant other,
you're kind of surprised, saying, "Hey, you guys need a logo." Dan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with the photoshops.
Yeah,
her exact words. No, but she made it by scratch. It's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything like that. Mine are just literally throwing things on.
She did it in 10 minutes. She gave us different versions, let us choose which one we liked. So if you need any things, she does do it on the side, freelance vectors.
So you can reach out to us if you have anything you want, and we'll put you in touch with her.
Yeah.
And you can email us at youwatchilistenpodcast@gmail.com, or just go right to our website.
Yeah, go to our, I have a Twitter too, so tweet to me. I'm still learning it.
It's Ralph YWIL. And you can find me at Jersey Pros, our Twitter account, You Watch, I Listen. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back with our guest, Mikayla.
Peace.
All right, and we're back. And we have our very first female guest. Hi, Mikayla. How are you?
Hi, guys. How are you?
How have you been? I mean, I see you every weekend anyway.
I know. This is my Saturday morning routine.
Why were you so nervous about coming on our show?
I just don't want to be the butt of your jokes.
Well, okay, first off, Mikayla, when have I ever done that to you?
Almost all the time.
I can't think of one. You need to speak more into the microphone, too. I know you love your coffee, but...
Yeah, the closer the better.
Yeah,
look, good?
Yeah, now
you look like a stand-up comic.
Exactly. You look like... Well, you've told me that you interview yourself before. So this should be pretty.
Yeah, I talk to myself a lot.
What are your own interviews like? Like, what do you talk to yourself about?
I kind of just process situations by speaking about them out loud to myself.
Can you speak about them closer to the mic?
And a little bit.
Still? Like
yeah,
this?
Yeah.
Talk like you're talking outside.
If you look at that screen, it shows how like loud you are. So like, whoa, it goes up, and then if I'm back here,
Yeah,
can't
you
hear
see?
it at all.
Hello.
See, now you.
No,
start
that's good.
So you interview yourself about your own life situations.
Yeah.
Do you look at the mirror like Boogie Nights?
I mean, when I was a kid, I used to look in the mirror when I did it.
Did you act like you had a microphone the whole time?
No, I acted like I was mic'd.
Like you had like a wireless or a mic, like
Yes, of course.
That just seems like semantics.
But you still do it. Is it like therapeutic for you?
Yes, it's how I process things.
Okay, I guess it makes sense. You're verbalizing it out loud. Now, when's the last time you did this while you were in because it's in the car when you're doing it, correct?
Yeah, I have like a long commute, so that's what I do.
So when's the last time you did it?
I don't know. My last commute was on Thursday.
And did you do it?
Yes.
What did you speak about? Because this will be something we can dive right into.
Do you literally go like, Mikayla, what are you doing today? I don't know, Mikayla.
Well, no, Mikayla
No.
also has an assistant, an imaginary
Victoria.
an imaginary assistant.
This is getting way too
This
confusing.
this is like turning into a psychotherapy session.
It is. Yeah.
Is that why you were afraid that I was going to start picking you apart?
No, I just know that you're good at doing that. So
Well, I know you love and hate it at the same time.
really is a piece of shit.
he's a true piece of shit.
I make her think about it more, whatever she's thinking, because she only wants to hear her one side of things, and then she has to hear the douchebag
I'm not
side of it.
sure if that's what it is.
Oh, of course,
in
that's
your
what it
own
is.
head, I think that's what you think
No,
it is.
you definitely only want to hear your side of it. You know that, and I know that, and that's why you think I'm an asshole because I'm telling you the side you don't want to
No,
hear.
You are an asshole.
You know,
Okay, I might be an asshole.
I'm shocked that she had concerns coming onto the show. It's going so great.
I'm not a dishonest asshole though. So, what did you talk to yourself about in your interview? And did Victoria set up this interview for you?
No, I tell Victoria what to do. She's my assistant.
Okay, so what did you tell Victoria to do recently? Because you're never gonna have a real assistant. How are you gonna fire Victoria when you get a real one?
Wait. I like how we're just glossing over the imaginary assistant. Like,
yeah, you're right. So when did how old were you when you hired?
Oh my god, the assistant. I was in college when she came into it.
What?
Stop. I feel like I'm on like a Beautiful Mind. I feel like I'm a schizo.
You might be. I mean,
Okay.
except there's nothing beautiful about your mind.
What
It's disturbing.
what's her name? Veronica?
Victoria.
Victoria. What does Victoria like look like? Like, is she a voice in your
I
head?
have no idea what she looks
What do you
like.
pay her?
She gets a really good
Emotional
salary.
damaging.
And I'm really hard on her.
You're hard on an imaginary friend. I feel like you're slowly breaking down your own psyche, and that's how it's getting.
Do you ever
my
help
God.
imaginary accountant?
Do you ever help Victoria out, or is she just there like for you?
She's literally just doing things for me all the time.
What's Victoria gotta?
Did she get a raise? So she's been hired by you for about 10 years now.
Oh my god, you're taking this so seriously. I just think about the way I would talk to my assistant if I had one.
Well, if you think we're taking it seriously, I highly recommend you never go to therapy because they're going to take it very seriously. But I do get the concept of it being like therapeutic to an extent. Because that's a lot of people talk out loud what your thoughts are. What are your therapies? What was your most?
I always had a really good imagination. Like as a kid, I did a
still
lot
do.
of imagination play.
You imagine a lot of things going much differently than they do in
She
your own
imagined an
life.
entire show that she's on. We actually don't exist.
So, so as far as your imagination, the thing that we always debate about is your own relationship. So
Yeah, they're quite
they're
comical.
They're interesting to say the least. So, what was your last relationship?
Define relationship.
Well, I have two different. Actually, a two-part question. What was your last relationship? What was your last serious relationship?
My last serious relationship was a year ago.
Okay, a year ago. And how long was that relationship?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And what was there any positives that came from it?
Positives that came from our relationship.
You have a dog.
I have a dog. He's really cute.
You have a dog. It's a custody
it's a
battle
love
dog.
child. Yeah, we share custody still, which is a ridiculous thing.
That thing.
Get that.
I bet that's got to be fucking hard.
When my fiance broke up with her last and clearly superior boyfriend, they had 2 dogs, and like she routinely complains about how like she misses the dog. She wish she got one of them.
That's always the worst part of any relationship ending is that you can't see that pet anymore.
I told her I'm not getting
Yeah.
a dog for that reason when it goes south. I don't want to damage
Not
her
if
more.
it goes south.
Honestly,
when.
don't have a dog until you're like married and like sitting at home all the time.
You have
Take
the
it from
ki- you have
someone
the
that did the
kid-
opposite.
You have the
Yeah.
kid and then the dog, right?
Yeah, you have the kid then the dog.
Absolutely, because a dog requires you to like sit at home a lot.
I mean, what's as a baby?
No, kids have no needs.
Yeah, like that's true. You just
Wait,
leave-
they
No, but
turn
that's what I'm
7.
saying. Like until
really
your
go-
life is
I-
settled
like,
in that way.
That's true. And if you have a kid and it's annoying you, you just put them in the fucking car for a few hours. You crack a window
Exactly.
and they're fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
So while that was your last serious relationship, you've had relationships since then. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. So.
Let's not call them relationships.
Well, no, you have to call them relationships because you got angry about the other person, correct? Well, their extracurriculars besides you.
Do their lives affect mine? Yes. Would I consider it a relationship? No.
Okay, how long did this not relationship last? This most recent one.
The most recent one has only been happening for a little bit, but the one before that, the one that I
What's-
think
what's
that
a
you're
little
wanting to
bit?
talk about, went on for about 9 months.
9 months, and what?
No, let's not. Let's say a year.
A year. Okay. Well, it's definitely a year because you're talking about going to where he lives now and seeing him, correct?
Correct.
Now his situation's a pretty unique one. Why don't you expand upon that for us? Because I don't think it's my place to say what this was and why it didn't work.
You know, he has a lot of baggage.
Is
to
that
say.
baggage? Is how many kids
He has 9 children.
Oh.
with how many different women?
4.
Oh, that's a good ratio.
And what are the ages of the children?
They range from like 3 months to 16. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Most people.
Truly unbelievable. He thinks it's normal.
He has baggage, but does he have an imaginary assistant?
No,
He
has
needs one.
He has an imaginary babysitter.
He had 11 kids.
So I've been around some of the drama involved with this guy. What are we going to call him here? Is we just going to call him by his name? Or are we going to call him Maurice?
That's actually one of his kids' names.
All right, we're going to call him Maurice. So you have 9 kids, 4 different women. How old was he compared to you at 29?
He's 36.
36. And
that's not that bad.
what did he do for work again?
Well, when we first met, he was a drug dealer, but I changed that really quick.
Oh, what kind of drug dealer?
Cocaine. you
Cocaine.
know.
Oh, the typical kind of
Oh,
stuff.
that's-
Yeah.
I think
barely
my,
a
my
drug.
favorite incident with this one, and then I want to go into the recent current one that's happening. Was Mikayla was here and she was freaking out because Maurice was apparently seeing some woman who was how old?
Oh, she's decrepit. She's really old.
Like we're talking, Ralph. We're talking.
When
like,
you said how old, I'm like, oh no, is this going to be illegal? And then it was the
no,
complete
like,
other end of the
like
spectrum.
60s,
Oh.
like in her 60s.
Basically, he was paying her phone. She was paying his phone bill for sex, probably.
So she was here on the phone with him, and I'm feeding her lines. I'm like, ask him how old or ask her what the Great Depression was like. Ask her what time happy hour is. Ask her what it was like when the Titanic.
The
sunk.
Dust Bowl.
Yeah, like,
I said a lot of fucked up
She was
shit.
saying all this horrible stuff, and I'm just in the back feeding her lines the whole time.
You know what? What I will say about him is like this is a positive that's come from this. I have never dealt with anyone who has let me say whatever I want to them, and then they still like me. Like I said, really fucked up shit.
I
to
guarantee
him.
you, most of your friends feel that way. So obviously, now I'm gonna be a little fair with Maurice here because the landlord met him and said he was a nice guy, and I'm
He
sure
is a really
I'm
nice
sure he's a
guy.
nice guy, but he clearly just doesn't understand how life works. I think.
Absolutely has no concept of reality at
Okay,
all.
so you've moved on from that for the most part,
Sort of.
and but in your line of work, you work at one job where it's like a marketing company, and the other one is you're a bartender. So
I'm on a video team, not a marketing.
Sorry, it's a video marketing team. Excuse me. Whatever. You probably should have a real assistant there and fire your fake one.
I am the assistant, actually.
So exactly, you are the assistant.
So wait. Do you outsource your work to your
Victoria.
I'm like, Victoria, go do that.
Yeah, Victoria.
Take care of that. I don't
got
have
busy.
time.
I got busy work to do.
I don't
as
have
she chain
time.
smokes.
Yeah.
So as a bartender, obviously the prospects for finding someone you can go out with are much higher, I would imagine.
Where did you meet Maurice?
Yeah, where did? Yeah,
So
that's
this
a good,
is,
that's a good
you know what?
question,
It's
Ralph.
actually a love story. The night we met.
Oh.
So Dan had gotten me tickets to see Coldplay after my recent breakup. Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was
I
shortly
was-
after.
I was in the pits.
He hawked tickets to you in her moment of weakness.
No, so she saw Coldplay, and that put her at her lowest point that she wanted to dance.
No, wait. So
She used code
so
Dan10 and save 15%.
So yeah, exactly. So Dan got me and the landlord tickets.
Oh, good save,
I
Mikayla.
know. Got us tickets to see Coldplay, and it was like part of my healing process, you know. And then
It's part of my death process.
so then, you know, a few nights later, I went to karaoke. After I went to yoga, I was like, I'm gonna go have a glass of wine and go to karaoke. And I walked
Just
in,
one glass.
and there was this enormous black man. He's enormous, and he was singing something just like this by Coldplay.
And that was
It's
you.
a sign.
It was a sign
She
from
saw
above.
the sign.
And then I like,
It's a based reference.
yeah,
Got it.
So what? So he was singing Coldplay. Was he good,
yeah, he's really good.
or did you just think he was cute?
No, he was really good at singing. He's
Okay.
really good at karaoke.
So did
this
you
is so
initiate? Did you initiate talking to him, or did you?
I literally said to him, "Do you want to make out with me?" And he thought I was kidding.
and then
He
you
was
started
like,
making out with him.
No, he was like, "Are you drunk?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Are you being sarcastic?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Okay." And then, but I was like, "You don't have to if you
And
don't
then,
want to."
And then 9 months later,
I gave him an option.
well, the other great thing that I completely forgot about after the old lady incident, it turned out that Maurice was also in the process of having, I guess, what is ultimately his 9th child. Correct?
So that was really the kicker. I mean, there was a lot of drama with him. There was constant drama. He's a very highly emotional person, which like leads
listens
to
to
a lot
Coldplay.
of toxic
Yeah.
stuff.
Who would have thought someone that got your name tattooed on his forearm is a little emotional?
What?
In the middle of an argument, yeah.
He got her
In
name
the middle of the argument?
He just
Like
sort of-
I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're a psycho.
He went and got her name, Mikayla, tattooed on his forearm.
the only tattoo he has.
I'm
It
gonna. This is a first. I'm at a loss of words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she.
was terrifying. I almost got a restraining order. I was terrified.
Yeah, but then you're gonna go see him when he's in.
And then I like got over that real quick. So anyway,
The other
so for 9 months we had this very intimate relationship. It was very.
It was mostly
healing.
a sexual relationship.
Right, for me. For
Yeah.
him, no. He was very much
Wait,
in
how
love.
could it be sexual? Oh, okay. I was like, how is
Sexual
it sexual
healing,
for you,
sexu-
but him?
sexual
no, for
healing.
me it was like
Like, was he not involved?
So like we had this very intimate relationship for 9 months, and then all of a sudden he was like, "I'm gonna move out of town," blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I want something more than this. You don't want anything serious." I was like, "Okay, go ahead." And then I saw his boss, and I said, "How is Maurice doing?"
Whatever.
And he said, "Oh,
His boss
he's
was
living
at
with
Scarface.
a woman named Liz." And I said, "Oh, Liz, I remember that, like a woman from his past." So I Googled her, and her baby registry came up.
He's crazy.
For a baby that was born on March 3rd. This is like March 17th. So I'm like, okay, wait.
You're doing
when
the
I-
math.
When I met him, he was living with her, and now 9 months later, he moved in with her, and he just had a baby. So it must be his baby, right? And when I called him on it, he told me I was nuts,
Just like the old lady thing.
and then
he
sent
was-
me a picture of the baby.
and his dick. So, in that regard, you may have not picked a winner. Nice guy, but maybe not the right guy for you. Did you really want to be the stepmom to 9 kids?
No, never.
you wanna be the
I
stepmom
never,
to
I
one
never
kid?
had any intent like that.
Yeah, no, I will give you that.
Did
but
you ever meet the kids?
No, I have talked to his
you
oldest. on the
FaceTime
phone.
with
Oh.
him, right?
Yeah.
You FaceTime with him.
Yeah.
So you're done with Maurice. What are you on to? Who are you on to now? And how did that come about?
So like Tinder dating is the worst. I don't
I know you never let me play on your Tinder, and I have a high success rate using other people's Tinder.
Don't.
I got Richie a date. Richie, who has literally no game. Colucci has a better chance of scoring a date than Richie does.
Okay. Let's not say things we can't take back.
True. So the current one, is it from Tinder?
Yeah, and he's so nice.
How many
Okay.
kids does he have?
None.
Okay, but he's so nice. But you say he's so nice.
Okay, so this is the
but-
thing with him is that like I kind of knew I wasn't attracted to him. He was really nice, and he like kind of wasn't with it. Like he was like not on the ball, I would say, right?
Wait,
Wait,
not on the ball.
wait.
And by ball, do you mean his brain doesn't work properly?
No, he's just aloof.
Aloof?
No.
Scatterbrain?
No.
Stupid?
No.
Dumb?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
A stoner?
Would
Like,
a-
you're
would a
so-
He's
Crow?
a stoner.
But is
Would
he like
he-
a stoner dumb?
Would an IQ
No.
test between him and a crow? Who would win?
Who would win? Is he
he
smart?
would win.
Well, the recent study that we just argued about is that they
Crows-
determined that crows have the intelligence of a 7-year-old human. Be
Okay,
a crow.
so here we go. Ready?
Holy Brandon Lee.
So I knew he finagled a date with me, and but above all, he's a massage therapist, and for me, that is a weighted pro.
It's an aphrodisiac, a
It
natural
is.
one.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can see past all of these negative qualities because you're a massage therapist. That matters a lot to me.
You know,
We
this
got into the
really
wrong- we
is
got
a
into the
beautiful
wrong one.
relationship. When I'm judging a relationship, I make a pro and con board,
Yeah.
and that's how I determine my
Con,
true love.
Con HIV. Pro gives really good massages.
No. So anyway, so he
But I'm not implying that guy has HIV, by the way.
he absolutely doesn't have HIV.
That's also exactly what you implied.
Yeah, it's true.
So anyway, so whatever. We go out on a date. I'm like, wow, this is so awkward. I can't believe I'm going to sit through a 2-hour movie with him, and then I got a massage.
What movie was it?
Wait, so that one we went to go to the drive-in, and we saw a movie. I can't even tell you what it was.
Okay. I really left. Were you just hooking up the whole time, though?
I was getting a massage, and it was
Oh,
amazing.
nice.
So then you know, I was like,
Massage.
oh, I'm gonna come over tomorrow night. I'm obsessed with you. So I went to his house, and he's like, you know, I'm there for a reason. We knew what reason I was there for, and he's like, you want me to put on a movie? And I was like, yeah, put on a movie. And he put on Monsters Inc.
And then.
Laughed hysterically like it was the first time he saw it, and told me that he had watched it over 700 times.
Okay, and then what happened after?
And then I got a massage.
And then.
What do you mean? And then
What did the massage lead to?
I might need to tap. I might need to tap.
What
out.
did the massage lead to, Mikayla?
happy endings,
Happy
obviously.
okay, so you got off to Monsters Inc.
That
is the moral of the
such
story.
A skewed way of
I'm
but
getting
yes,
but
technically,
accurate.
accurately, yes.
What scene was it during?
I,
you
I'm
peaked.
clearly not watching. But so anyway, so then
It is a
so then I
classic.
blew him off. I blew him off, right? I blew him off for
After
weeks and weeks and
Monsters,
weeks.
Inc.
And then I
sex.
got back from like a long trip overseas, and he was like, "Oh, I bet your travels were tough. Like,
You want a massage?
do you want a massage?" So I went over there. He's got the massage table
Put
set
on
up.
Monsters University.
He's got candles lit and like some weird Bob Marley playlist, which is not what I want to listen
And he
to.
put
when
on
I
the
get a
Page
massage.
Master. Or the Indian in the cupboard.
So that's
Page Master.
All right.
Indian in the cupboard.
Oh, did you say Indian in the cover?
I would have actually enjoyed that a lot more than
Brave
Monsters
little
Inc.
toaster. Just start naming all these random fucking old movies.
What's the rainforest movie? Fern Gully.
Fern Gully?
Oh my god, I love
The
Fern
Fox and the
Gully.
Hound.
Fox and the Hound, I would sob the whole time.
Sob sex.
Yeah.
So what movie did he put on this time?
Monsters,
No
Inc.
movie.
No movie. Monsters Inc. again.
2-hour full body massage.
And
four
another
happy
and
endings.
You had 4 happy endings. How many did he have?
None.
You didn't get him off? How is that fair?
This is not the relationship.
What does Victoria think about this?
Yeah, what does Victoria think?
Victoria really thinks that this is her best life.
that living vicariously through you?
Yeah, I have a private masseuse. It's great.
You have a private masseuse that you use for massages, orgasms, back.
I don't-
But you're
He's
also
literally the sweetest guy.
implication here. You're not saying that he's
He's really sweet. He's very skilled.
You're not saying that he's Forrest Gump got it in.
No.
Oh,
He's
grab your
more
tits.
smooth than that.
All right, I'm trying to think of like a comparable character here that you can go with, but
I wish I could name people from high school because there's someone in particular.
do it. Who cares?
What if they see it?
They're not going to know it's you,
Oh, wait,
Mikayla.
real quick.
Can
I got
you
an
make
idea.
it rhyme?
No.
I
Type it out. I won't say it.
I'm gonna say it rhymes with cat fart. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yes, cat.
Cat fart.
Oh! Is that? I got it. I
Yes,
got it.
he's a cat fart.
Yeah, he's a cat fart. Okay. Yes, then you are dating someone that is, if they're not across the spectrum, they are the spectrum.
Cat fart. That is so funny.
Can we stop doing the spectrum?
Well, I don't think we can. So what? Are you done with the masseuse now?
No, I adore him.
Okay, but are you talking to any other? Or you're Tindering, I guess. But you don't
Yeah.
see you.
what
every
about
time
Maurice?
Every time Maurice is
I'm
in
going down to see him this week.
And where did your dates with Maurice usually take place?
In a
anyway,
hotel.
In a hotel. Where did you go to eat usually?
We got takeout a lot.
Got take out a lot, yeah, because you had to go to hotels and avoid gang
I can't believe
confrontations.
I'm going to say this. Don't let Crowboy go.
Stick with
Crowboy.
Stick with cat fart crow. Like,
Yeah,
come
but I
on.
like legit lived in a hotel with Maurice for months.
I know, and you brought the dog sometimes too. You got the dog involved in your extramarital affair.
He has 9 kids that he sometimes
To be
sees
honest,
you have 1.
to be honest, he joined me at the dog park a few times, and he's the only person I've ever seen put a donation in the donation box.
Who, cat fart?
No,
Maurice. Okay, who's smarter, Maurice or cat fart? I mean, Maurice has to be if he's.
let's say responsible.
Well, cat fart is
Cat fart
responsible.
is so responsible.
Well,
He
that's
has
why
one
sometimes-
place. He
so
has like 2 jobs.
Cat fart
He's-
may not have a high IQ, but he's functioning
It
at
sounds
least.
like Cat
And he's
Fart
so
actually
sweet.
is. He
sounds
tricked
like
you into a date.
Do you think we would get along with him? Would we get along with Cat?
Yeah, I bet you know him actually.
Did he release an EP
He hangs
recently?
out with some chicks from
What's
town.
his name? Tell me his name.
Cat Fart.
Here, type it up while we're.
No.
No, type it up. I'm not going to say.
I think that you're actually friends on Facebook.
Oh, I need to know then. I'm not going to say anything, but you can tell me off the air. I actually
Hold on,
wanna know.
I'll pull up Facebook. And
Yeah, no, I honestly just want to know because I can tell you, you do know we're Facebook friends, don't you? Because you're such a Facebook creep. The fact to the point that
I'm the biggest creep.
Yeah,
Type the name out enough.
No, I can't.
You
No,
know,
just-
I won't
just tell
say
me-
it.
I
won't
literally
say
don't know his last name to be honest.
Just tell me off the air, and I'll tell you if I know him. But he's from.
We're not friends on
He's from the
Facebook.
same town you work in, correct?
No.
What is he from? A town local? Then
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna tell me off the air. Then I don't have to say it on here because I'm actually interested. Because obviously, as much as I love busting your balls, you're a good friend. So I try to stick up for you more often than not. Unless
That's
it's
a
to your unless it's
fucking
to
lie.
hey whoa. I won't stick up for you to your face. We'll say. So you have the two jobs. You do the bartending and the video marketing. Where do you see your actual career going?
Hopefully towards the video department.
Aren't you gonna miss? I just saw you counting out. What'd she have out there? 250. How much was that in cash you were counting
Who
out
knows
there?
how much it was?
You're
stupid.
not gonna miss just the straight up
No,
cash.
I just want them to deposit into my bank account so I always know how much money I'm making and whatever.
But
I need something
but
more
you're not
stable.
gonna miss that extra income from
I
bartending.
mean, maybe I would keep one day bartending.
Or you
a
can also
week.
you can also get
I love to
connections.
bartend.
Well, like bartending at weddings, like you did at Keith's, that kind of thing. You can
Yeah.
always do stuff like that. There's always opportunities like that.
Right.
I mean, and to just walk away with 150 to 200 bucks cash a night is kind of hard to let go.
Yeah, sometimes even more than that.
If I had to
On
pay
a Saturday night,
I'm sure you put
400.
400 or 500. I don't understand how you do that. I would not have the patience to bartend because I'm at a bar and I'm miserable and I hate everyone around me.
You're miserable everywhere you go, though.
That's
People
true.
can
in
be real
in
jerks.
public situations. I really get I'm more miserable, especially at bars I don't particularly care for. But you must get some nasty fucking clients at because I've seen the bars, not the bar you previously worked at, especially. You got some characters that just like starting things to start them.
Oh yeah.
The amount of fights and drama and
Tons of
attempted
drama.
rapes that probably have happened at your bars.
Attempted rapes.
Maybe
for sure.
completed rapes. Who knows? So
Yeah.
I want to get a because like I said, we're not going to keep you too long. We have to do this nut challenge. So I want to thank you for coming
Nut
on as well.
challenge sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you're gonna watch and you're probably you or the landlord's gonna record for us. What was I gonna say? So we're a movie and music podcast.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I want to get on that a little bit before we let you go.
Sure.
Give me your number one movie that you can put on at any time and
Not
enjoy.
Monsters Inc.
Not Monsters Inc.
It is not Monsters.
All right,
Inc.
what's your number one movie?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Actually, I kind of respect that because that is so outside the box from what most people would say.
She was
wa-
also definitive about it, which I like.
She instantly knew. I know what my number one movie is, no matter what.
In
said
high
it-
school,
you-
I watched it every night before I went to bed.
Every night.
You said it away how do you guys not know that already?
Okay, so It's a Wonderful Life.
You want number 2?
I want to know. Yeah, give me. What's another one?
Practical Magic.
That's another really popular one.
Is it?
What is that?
It's Caitlin, the landlord, the Kate Lord. She loves Practical Magic too. So that's who's that? Sandra
Bullock.
It's a witchcraft movie.
Yeah.
It's
we
very
need more of
popular
those.
come Halloween
We
season.
need more of
I'd rather watch. I'd personally rather watch Hocus Pocus than
Really?
Practical Magic.
Hocus Pocus. is pretty
Hocus
good.
Pocus is pretty lame.
Wait, is that the movie where they wait? Is that
Bette
the-
Midler and
what's
Sarah
the movie
and
where they're
Footface.
where they're immortal and the two women beat each other up and they?
Not that
Are you talking
one.
about The Craft?
No, it's
No.
not the
We are
Craft.
the weirdos, mister.
So see, this is your problem with movies, Madrela. That you don't like good movies. Straight
said
up,
It's a Wonderful Life.
But that's one.
Legit?
But you also
Legit, your opinion sucks.
She said that the best portrayal of the Joker is Jared Leto in Suicide
Okay,
Squad,
you just
and
lost
she
all
liked
credibility,
Suicide
I'm
Squad.
sorry.
Okay, so this is my thing: is that I was never afraid of the Joker until Suicide Squad. I was terrified of.
Okay,
Jared
first
Leto
off, I
in
will
that
say
movie.
that the Joker can be scary. He's not necessarily supposed to be scary. I think Heath Ledger's was scarier. First,
Have
of
you
all.
ever seen the Joker in a love?
Yes, I watched everything about Batman. That love story is
Yeah,
common. and
that's a pretty common
I've never
one.
seen that
So
one.
no,
But so the
hasn't
thing
been
is
hasn't
that
been
he
brought to
was
the
a
silver
very
screen.
Hasn't
scary
been brought to the
partner.
screen, and it also hasn't sucked nearly as bad as it is.
Yeah,
in that
well,
movie.
in the animated series, because that character Harley Quinn wasn't in the comics. It was.
Oh my
made
god,
for-
I loved her.
I love that character. and
it's
I-
also a very complicated, codependent, abusive.
That's what I mean. Like
but-
it was
but they
very
didn't really do
scary
that
to
in the
me.
movie. The movie didn't do it the right way.
Wait, I thought it did. Like it
No,
was like she was
he
like
came back to save her. Joker would never do that.
Like
no,
you
no,
said-
no. But he was so unpredictable, and she was just absolutely at his mercy.
No, it
Yes.
sucked. It sucked.
It didn't.
It-
well,
it
well,
sucked.
you should be.
You're simplifying it.
No, I'm not
Suicide
simplifying.
Squad would have been good if they did it a different way, but
yes,
Jared Leto was amazing.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He was not. I
And everybody loves
I'm
to
with
say
the- I'm-
Heath Ledger because he died.
No,
during
no,
the
no.
thing.
That's not
Yeah,
why. Heath
that's
Ledger
what
was
it
actually
is.
great. I do agree that's
I'm
part
with
of it.
McCarthy. I agree with her.
What?
Or Mikayla.
McCarthy? No, this is the problem with Suicide. First off, I didn't give a shit about the Joker. They turned him into a gangster when the Joker is not supposed to be a gangster.
He was a little scary.
But that's not the Joker. He's not. He's supposed to be the clown prince of Gotham. Who they made him. They simplified. They made him Scarface out of the Joker, and that's not supposed to
But
be
didn't
that
you
way.
feel like it was a more modern portrayal of the Joker?
No,
No,
I didn't think
I
so at
didn't.
all. Why is the Joker? Okay, the Joker is a criminal, and he owns.
He's hanging at a club.
He owns
The
a
Joker
club.
should have looked like a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, he looked like the
Oh my God, I loved
XXX
him.
Tentacon, who I wish he ended up the same
I was
way.
like weirdly frightened by him and like weirdly
You
attracted
just
to
call
him.
him X-Tenacon.
the guy that died, that
Is
rapper.
his extension?
I think that's why he was so
No, I
terrifying.
think it's Tentacon. I hope it's that.
I
I don't know.
don't
Because I
care.
was like weirdly attracted to him.
And you didn't think Heath Ledger was creepy when he's telling people how he got his
No,
scars?
it seemed like an act.
Of course, it's a movie. He's acting.
I know, but it was clear that it was an act.
I
That's the
also-
same with
clear with
porn. I don't
Jared
like when I
Leto.
know you're
I
acting.
also-
Oh, porn. You like porn, don't you?
Yeah.
What? I'll tell you.
I hate when you do this.
No.
Next.
No,
My phone's
no.
off. I'm out.
I got to tell you one porn story that the landlord told me about Mikayla. That
Oh
she
my
was
God.
watching some kind of Japanese body bag porn.
That is not what it was.
Landlord, I'm summoning the landlord. Ralph, can you retrieve the landlord
You
because
always somehow say body bag. There was no body bag.
they were Japanese people in body bags. Landlord, come
That
here.
is not true.
Landlord,
you
come here.
created that.
Come
part.
take Ralph's seat, and I need landlord's insight on this because we're talking about Mikayla's
getting rogue. I had to tap out.
Yeah, well, we're not. I'm not a little bitch. So
I am.
this is going to be the last
Hi,
part
Mikayla.
of Mikayla's segment. So
Hey, landlord,
hi,
how are
landlord.
you?
Good.
La-
Hi,
la-
Mikayla.
Landlord. Can you please describe the porno of Mikayla? Not the one she's been in,
To
but
be honest with you, I've never seen it. I know she's into some really weird shit, and all I really got out of it was that it was definitely Japanese people, and they were in
She's
some
shaking
sort
her
of
head.
plastic body.
No, you guys made up the second
they,
part.
they put them in a
No, they
laundry
were
bag.
definitely-
I
in
like
plastic.
Japanese porn. Yes.
Why do you like Japanese?
I don't
porn?
know.
Like you like the tentacle stuff,
No.
or do you like the real
Shit
people
porn.
shit?
Yeah, you watched body bag porn.
body bag? I don't even know what that is.
There was just like a glory hole through a body bag. I'm guessing. I don't know. Were they in a body bag having sex?
Wait, I gotta tell a story real quick.
Go
Back to
ahead.
Maurice. When I stayed in a hostel in Switzerland, and he said that I asked him what he thought a hostel was, and he told me that it was one of those things where people fuck through the.
Glory hole?
Yeah.
He thought a hostel was a glory hole. Treya's like, Madrela is like,
Whoops.
she's like, it wasn't a glory.
gonna forget the name, and I haven't slept once.
Because I'm laughing at this now. I'm picturing her in a hostel, like, it wasn't a glory hole before, but it's going to be now.
But he was uncomfortable with me staying at a hostel because that's what he thought a hostel was.
He just thought it
But
was
he thought that
And I
that's
had to-
all it was.
I had
was
to
just
explain
one
to him
big
that a
hole?
hostel is just like a place that you can stay for like
He thought you were sucking dick to spend the night.
Wait, was this more recent?
through a hole.
You didn't see anyone, but all you did all night was suck dicks.
No, I
and
like
that's how
laid
you
in, I
stayed.
laid in front of a hole.
She would be taking a nap and then a dick
And
just
you
comes
said
through
I
the
only
hole
do
and
that
starts
if there's
poking her.
body bags involved.
And all right.
Oh, we don't say
Well,
that.
I
sorry.
learned the hard way that is a non-PC term.
According to who?
Michelle Foster. Shout out.
Wait. You won't name drop who the masseuse is, but you'll name drop a friend of ours.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle.
Hi,
She
Michelle.
called me hardcore on that, and I didn't really know that it
You
was
didn't.
offensive.
I know. I had to explain the
because
origin
I
of it
wasn't
to
born
you.
in World War II. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
well,
Mo's ex-girlfriend was.
Maurice.
Maurice. Everyone's doing it.
shit.
His
All right.
ex-girlfriend was definitely born during World War II.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up here. I really want to thank you, Mikayla, for being on. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I didn't pry too much.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk politics?
No politics. I won't.
All right, so for this next thing, I do need you, the landlord, and your cellular phone for a video, if you don't mind. Can you please retrieve your phone?
Actually, wait.
Go ahead.
Let me go back in the mic.
Okay, yep, go ahead. There's silence here, and the landlord's not moving.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, we'll have you back on at some point. You were very.
Did you enjoy yourself?
You may have been the best at bantering that we've had so far. I think when it came to just straight up dialogue.
So, couple
yep.
things. do you want to do? I think we should do this last because I think.
Well, what else do you have?
I want to do the thing that I took the poll on Facebook.
Oh yeah, the guilty
why don't we do
pleasures.
that?
You can stick around for that if you want.
Yeah, I
You
would
can
love to
too, landlord.
participate.
I want to do this.
All right.
I want to do our hot takes, then this, because I have a feeling
All
that
right.
this is just going to sputter out and
All right,
just horrible.
I have 2 hot takes then. If you want to go first, I don't know if you have yours
Well,
ready.
let's
I have
do
two.
the guilty pleasure.
Go ahead,
thing
do your
first.
guilty pleasures. Go
All
for
right.
it. You had everything here. So,
So-
the premise of the guilty pleasure was just movies, music, or random things, TV shows that
2 questions: a musical guilty pleasure, and then just a general one.
it could be a movie, TV show, or something
most
you do, a
people
hobby.
most people answered like shows and things like
I
that.
saw a lot of guys saying Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, what is Vampire Diaries?
Garbage. I'm not.
I'm sure it's garbage.
Landlord, you probably enjoy that.
I've never seen it.
All right, so go on.
Okay, so my musical guilty pleasure, I love Madonna.
You love
Oh my god, I
Madonna?
love that about
I
you.
legitimately, I have her greatest hits. It's in rotation. Dress You Up in My Love is my personal favorite.
Stop.
I would say my musical guilty pleasure, and landlord can attest.
I
could
guarantee
say-
this is going to be one of those things that's like kind of cool
No, no.
still, but like
Yeah.
No,
it always has to be kinda cool if
mine's-
it's Dan.
Mine's Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga. I enjoy her music. I love Mama Monster. I'm a little monster.
You're a little monster?
I put my paws up. I'm a big fan of her
Oh
tunes.
my god, that's so
She's
scary.
very,
You're
very,
talking about it is scaring
very,
me.
very, very.
To be
ta-
honest with you, we were on the way home from a concert last night, and I put on a little bit of Lady Gaga, and Dan did put his claws up instead of driving
This
for
is
a good
all,
15
all
minutes.
the immigrants. And I do like her music. So, what's your musical or
I
any
responded. Mine is Cardi B.
Cardi B? But that's like a popular thing. That's not really a guilty pleasure.
I don't know.
It's
She's
not a guilty
super
pleasure because I've seen
ridiculous.
videos of you at bars at 3 a.m. rapping Cardi B. So you don't feel that guilty about it.
Say, little bitch, you can fuck with me.
Yes.
If you wanted to.
Shut up. Landlord, what you wrote yours? I don't know. Riverdale was one of yours, right?
No, that was Natalie.
Okay.
Natalie, I do also like Riverdale. I'm not embarrassed.
Okay.
I will still watch Arthur on PBS as a 29-year-old.
Yo,
That is
Arthur.
a wholesome, great
Hi,
show
Shirley.
about aardvarks.
High five.
You're a lot like
Thank you.
like Muffy and not that much like Francine.
Shut
Is that her name? Muffy.
Do you want me to really?
She's like a muff diver.
Yo,
PC.
That's not that bad,
that's
bro.
not, compared to half the things you guys said before.
Go ahead.
I discovered Arthur like when I was like 20. So
What?
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Like I knew
The
about it.
landlord-
But I
That's
never
probably
watched
why
it.
you're not
See,
that
the
well-rounded.
landlord only feels that
I'm
way
not
about
well-rounded?
Arthur
Yeah, because you didn't watch Arthur.
I
as a
love
kid.
Arthur.
The
I
land-
know you didn't watch it as a kid though.
The
so-
landlord didn't have cable until she was an adult, so she only had PBS. She was watching Barney until she was
Why didn't you
17.
have cable? What were you in a cult?
I would beg my parents every weekend for us to get
Nickelodeon.
cable because all that was on was golf until I was literally 13 years old, and then I was far behind the whole SpongeBob era that
You missed
everyone
Doug,
was in.
you missed
I-
Rocco.
I
Angry
used to have
Beavers.
conversations when I was like in 2nd grade and like pretend that I had watched certain things. Like people would be like, "Oh, did you see that Disney Channel shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love it." I had no idea what it
If it
was.
make-
I was really just watching Barney and golf.
If it makes you feel better, I pretend that I watch what Dan recommends every week. On the way here, I'm driving. I just go through the Wikipedia page.
What an ass. All right, so what else do you have?
Okay. So some people participated and gave their recommendations. So I'm just gonna selectively pick
go
a
for
few
it.
here. Chrissy Kayola, say her now.
Yes.
We built this city. She said it gets stuck in your head, and I proceeded to have it stuck in my head for the next 48 hours.
I don't think I've ever had that stuck in
We
my
built this city. You
Ugh.
never get that song stuck in your head.
head. Now.
What a nightmare that would be.
It's horrible.
All right, so what else we got?
We got a lot of we got a lot of people saying Fallout Boy and Paramore.
I saw some Panic at the Disco,
Panic at
too.
the-
Paramore.
I don't think
Those are
Paramore is
really-
actually a
those
good
are
band.
good.
Old Fallout Boy is really good. But
Dane was the most surprising.
well,
one.
saying Paramore, but then like someone corrected him, and
What
he's
did
like,
Dane say?
Paramore.
He said Paramore. That was
Paramore's a good band. I like Paramore.
Dane.
A lot of people like yelled at him though, saying like that shouldn't be a guilty pleasure.
I
but
don't. I mean, I think because for a man, it's probably looked at as a guilty pleasure, but they're a good band, and she's a kick-ass singer, so who gives a fuck?
She's great.
She's awesome.
We had Claire O'Connor and Monica Mulligan and a few other people all said the Kardashians.
Yeah.
That's a common one. That's a guilty
Oh my god,
pleasure.
it is really addicting.
For me, TV is I love Total Divas. I love watching Total Divas on A. That's the one. The landlord watches that too.
So Lady Gaga and Total Divas are your guilty pleasures?
Total Divas crosses over the. What'd you say? Go ahead. The Total Divas, it crosses over the reality TV stuff like Bravo, like the landlord,
is this
like
wrestling,
and it crosses over
You're
wrestling.
A child.
Why am I
Don't
a child?
even talk about wrestling with me here.
You just told me that you got into Arthur at age 20, and I'm a child.
You don't think that wrestling is your guilty pleasure, dude?
No, not when it's
You
one
should
of the
be
most.
ashamed.
It's not. It's one of the most popular events across
On
the
Twitter,
world.
he argues about mic technique and shit.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my
It's
god.
a science. Go on. We don't need to talk about wrestling.
You need to
because
be. You should
I
feel
don't
really
need-
guilty.
I don't need
about
to
it.
spit knowledge on you about why wrestling is highly more scientific than any garbage you watch. So go on about more guilty pleasures.
Scientific.
Natalie, as was put before, she said Toto's Africa, which
Oh my god, I love that.
which she was 22 when that came out. So
Did you look it up? You're just guessing.
I may be adding a year or two. And then
Greg was 30.
she said Riverdale, which
thought-
what is Riverdale? I keep seeing
It's from the
Riverdale.
Archie comics. It's a Archie comic based TV show on the CW. Is it on?
We're out of fucking ideas.
Yeah, I know. But she watches it. It's very campy, and I get the appeal of it.
What does campy mean?
Like
Corny.
like corny. Like it's almost like meant to be kind of bad.
It's an over-the-top high school thriller, I'd say, with way too hot high schoolers. I literally follow all of them on Instagram, and they are so hot.
Let it be noted that the
You're
landlord
attracted to them?
the landlord is saying that high schoolers are hot.
Yeah, I'm into the high school look. That's why I only teach middle school.
Yay.
Greg
Gross.
Greg said Ghost and Ryan Adams because he's a hipster.
I actually do like Ryan Adams, so I,
I
guess
don't-
you could add that to
yeah.
my, he's got some good shit.
but then he
so.
also put, for whatever reason, this made me laugh, Property Brothers.
I despise Property Brothers.
I don't even know
can't
what
even.
it is.
Oh my god,
It's these
because
two
you
guys
only
who
watch
buy-
wrestling, dude.
That's not all I watch, but I've never even heard
They're a
of it.
tag team. The Property Brothers.
They're the worst.
That is absolutely a Greg
like there's
show.
100 shows that are amazing on HGTV except for Property Brothers.
Greg's hobbies include Property Brothers and refinancing his mortgage.
All right, what else we got?
We got a lot of Degrassi, Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Elizabeth Campbell, agree entirely. She said
Julianne
cop.
Campbell? Julianne Elizabeth Campbell. Jules Campbell.
Oh shit, is that
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
is?
that's who
I'm
that
not
is.
friends with her,
What
so
did she
like I
say?
just went
What
by
did-
the name.
What did she say?
She said cops.
That's not a guilty pleasure. Cops is premium TV.
Me and the fiance ran out of cops on demand to watch.
Wow, there's a lot of cops too.
We went through a lot.
All right. So
Oh my god, did you guys ever watch Bait Car?
What's bait car?
It's when they use it. They lure someone
They
with a child.
literally put like
Bait.
no, they put like a car running in like on the street in the ghetto, and then they see who tries to steal the car, and then they arrest them. It's
Well,
amazing.
they have live cops now.
Live cops is fantastic.
It's literally it's live. They do know they have a police scanner and they
Exactly.
Well, To Catch a Predator is
They
great.
literally have. It's almost like red zone for the NFL, where they're like, "We're coming in."
They're about to score a touchdown, but this one is we have a high speed chase taking
In
place,
Minneapolis.
and they cut to all these different parts of the country where police chases are happening, and it's live.
It's live. It's the best
awesome.
thing ever.
All right, what else we have?
Let's see.
I saw
what
some
else
Jerry
we got.
Springer in there.
Some Jerry Springer.
Maury.
Mike White said, because
She brought this up too. The landlord.
I found that the whole concept of guilty pleasure.
guilty pleasure.
I found the whole concept of guilty pleasures tends to diminish as you age. I like the creative works that I like, and it's something that doesn't really embarrass me. What an ass!
Well,
Fuck you.
my favorite part of it
Yeah.
though was that he mentioned that he has no shame, like listening to Wesley
Wesley
Willis.
Wesley Willis
And
isn't a guilty
I
pleasure.
made the landlord listen to Wesley Willis shortly after. I played Rock and Roll McDonald's and Suck a Caribou's Ass for her. She enjoyed it.
My sister said eating in front of the TV.
I like that.
It's not a guilty pleasure. That's just what you do.
Something you do.
You're just lazy.
Yeah.
And then let's wrap it up with Ann Hammerlin. She's watching a show called Claws, which is about and I quote, a group of ratchet nail salon broads who get involved in a drug ring.
Oh, that actually kind of sounds interesting.
That's going to be my next you watch.
You watch. All right. So that's it. If you had any others that weren't on there, we're sorry we didn't shout you
thanks,
out. There was a lot, so we have to.
Thanks for everyone participating.
So what are we doing? Hot takes now?
Let's do hot takes,
All right,
and then
then we're gonna do this. We have a challenge that you'll explain after the hot takes. So
Alan requested I have this hot take. He tagged you in it. Did you see it on Facebook?
no, I have to apologize to Alan because apparently I referenced him last week, and when he brought it up to me, I told him I did not remember. I was like, I don't want to say you're forgettable, Alan, but no, you're. You know I love you. Go on.
I haven't done a Mets one in a while, so I'm doing one. I'm sorry, it's sports related. I apologize.
You only have one well to pull from. Go on.
Will, not should he be, will Tim Tebow be up in the majors this season?
Yes. If the team is going it the way it is, he'll be up in September.
Okay, that's great. We're going to just agree with each other. Your hot take. That's good.
All right,
good
I
radio.
actually have two. The first one is the demise of Toys R Us. You see everyone talking about Toys R Us going out of business. No.
Shout out to Tim Kelly.
No, I'm tired of people seeing all the sad stuff.
I hate his hot takes. It's just him.
No.
Every hot take goes the same way.
You're not even letting me have my hot take. You got yours. Shut the fuck up.
This is what he does. He goes.
No, every week. Cut me off before I did it. Why are people acting like they're sad about Toys R Us being closed? You didn't care when it was open all this time, and now people are like, "Oh, our childhood is gone." These are people with kids that didn't take their kids to Toys R Us.
Okay, I agree.
Amazon toys are cheaper.
But why are people acting like they were gonna go if it was still open? People are going there taking pictures of the closed stores. Why are we acting like we're sad about it?
Or do you want me to just yell at
Give me
you?
a real answer.
Okay,
and I'll tell you why the fuck
it has to do with
you're
our
wrong.
childhood nostalgia. It's a piece of our childhood taken away, and we realize as we grew up that
It's
things
not
that
taken away. It didn't erase the history of Toys R Us. Toys R Us is still a thing that happened. It closing, you should be sad if it's something you did regularly.
So you're right. When a relative dies, you should be like, well, that just happened.
Okay, you cannot compare a life to Toys R Us. A place. When's the last time you stepped foot in a Toys R Us?
Not now.
Exactly. If your relative was still alive, you would have stepped foot in her.
I'm still depressed that Bradley's closed.
But
Bradley's was the
you would
shit.
still shop at Bradley's, though, right?
Oh, let's talk about
Five
Bradley's.
star.
I'm upset about
Five
5-star.
star.
Like,
But you should have shopped there.
no, but you did shop there.
You should shop. Why are you
Were you still shopping at Bradley's when it went out of business?
Yes, every
That was
day.
my mom's favorite store.
Exactly.
We went at least once a month.
If
to
people,
Bradley's.
listen,
Let's talk more about Bradley's.
I understand the Toys R Us
How
thing
can
going
you
out of
become
business.
attached to a department store?
Exactly. And again, if people cared that much and they were that
If
upset,
you
they
are
would've-
attached to a department store, you should go see a therapist.
I agree completely. And all these people, it's a cool thing to do. Go to the closed Toys R Us and take a picture like sad and the Jeffrey the giraffe. But again, as adults saying it are upset. Like, you could have gone there and bought all the shit that you just bought on clearance and helped them stay in business.
Oh my god!
But
Grow
no.
up.
I'm with you. Thank you.
No, I
And
think you're just
my
being
other one,
you're
and
shitty.
I had this discussion with the
Not
landlord.
you,
and
not you,
Mikayla.
McCartney.
I had this discussion with the landlord in Grohow the other night, and we talked about it a little bit. Is the Jameis Winston suspension in the NFL? Jameis Winston's NFL quarterback. He had an incident back in 2016 where he groped an Uber driver.
Also, after
Sounds
we
like a
talked-
good guy.
Yeah.
When we talked about it, I thought he had an assault with a male Uber driver, like it was a
No,
fist
it was-
fight. When I found out more, I completely did a 180. It was with a woman.
He they did about a year and a half to 2 years on the investigation to figure out, and they announced that he was suspended 3 games. Now, I was happy they did a thorough investigation rather than the incident comes out, they suspend him, and then we find out that it's bullshit. But what turns out, they announced the suspension, but they did not give the details of what actually happened in the car. This player went from denying that it happened when the incident first came out, and now apologizing for it happening. And the NFL, who gives every little detail about every problem they have, from domestic violence to Bountygate to the deflating of the footballs to the Bullygate, they gave you every little detail. They are not telling us what actually happened in that car, because it's probably a lot worse than him just grabbing her by the pussy in the car. Legitimately. There's no way they released the details about everything else, and it proves again the NFL has no idea how to handle their own PR, because if, God forbid, there's audio or video that comes out and say someone had to pull Jameis Winston off of this woman, imagine that's going to be like when the Ray Rice video came out. It's significantly worse. The NFL has no idea how to handle any sort of problem whatsoever, from the kneeling to Bountygate to Deflategate to this. They can't be transparent. If he was penetrating her, he should not be in the league. If they're making it sound like he just grabbed her like that, which is what your impression was, but it was a man, correct?
No, I thought it was like an assault. I thought it was like a fist fight or something.
No, they said he groped her. But what does grope mean? Why are they not being transparent with this when they're transparent with everything else?
Trump got a 3-game suspension too.
Trump did?
Trump did.
After he got prank phone called by Stuttering John. All right. So those are our hot takes.
Okay.
So now, Ralph, Mikayla, do you have a hot
Yeah,
take?
well,
I don't think she knows what a hot take is.
Yeah.
It's just
What's-
like
Explain to me what it is.
it's
like
just a strong opinion
An
that you
opinion
want
on
to just yell.
something topical, like that is current, whether it's current events, movies, music.
Last week I was pissed that people say that they don't like the taste of water. So
yeah,
it could
it's
be
like
anything.
shit like that, like dumb shit people say.
It
could
usually
be,
is just
it
Dan
could be
screaming.
what's topical. You see people posting on social media that gets you mad, shit like that. Whether it's about addiction, no politics, I'd prefer, but because if you do that, we're gonna be. All right, come on, landlord, you give a hot take.
All right, I know this is Mikayla's hot take.
Okay.
Japanese body bag porn is the best porn available.
No, I don't agree
All
because
right.
I don't know what body bag porn is.
I'm
Bye.
gonna Google body bag porn. I swear to God, I'm
All
probably
right,
gonna get
do
arrested.
that. Let's explain this nut challenge and how.
Okay.
Landlord, could you please hand me the things of milk there?
Okay. So
3 of them. I bought them at McDonald's. No, they're fine.
they're not fun.
Yeah, probably not.
So last week Dan got
Did you have your
upset
phone?
at me
Did you have your phone?
because I bought Miracle Berries. Miracle Berries changed the taste
Fuck
of the
you, Miracle
food,
Berry.
and I thought that they were a rousing success. Dan was just being a baby. So he said, if you're going to bring some in that's like interesting or spicy. You said that a few weeks ago. So I found what is known as the Death Nut Challenge. They are peanuts.
Hold on.
What?
Wait, you can just start at any time. Good.
What they are 5 progressively hotter peanuts that are made with Carolina Reaper,
Ghost peppers.
ghost peppers, something called Pepper X.
I see the directions on the
here's
game.
the-
All right, so the whole way we're supposed to do this is number 1. You pierce the foil behind peanut 1. You eat the peanut. You chew slowly and thoroughly for 30 seconds and swallow. Mikayla, you're going to be in charge of the 30 seconds.
Do you have a tissue by any chance? Because I feel like
We
it's
have,
gonna get on
we have
our
paper
hands.
towels right up there.
Yeah.
Then we have to pause for 90 seconds to allow the peppers to fully bloom before moving on to the next step.
Ooh.
Then we have to repeat steps.
So I can time you.
We have to repeat steps 1 and 2 for each of the remaining peanuts in the sequence until we complete all 5. To defeat the challenge, you must wait 5 minutes after eating the final death nut before drinking or eating anything else. As you're doing the challenge, share the experience with your audience. So again, you're going to time it for 30 seconds of chewing, and then 90 seconds before the next one. 90 seconds or no more than 180. So we can take up to.
Can you bring a garbage or something in between us? Because I have a feeling this is gonna be bad.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, dude, they smell. Just smelling them is making my eyes water. All right. And hold on.
All right. This is going to be garbage. And get paper towels.
Start doing this stuff on Friday night so it doesn't ruin your whole Saturday.
Why is your whole Saturday ruined?
If you don't feel well after.
I'll be fine. No, I can deal.
I hope you can.
I felt like shit for 5 hours after the berry last week. So, all right, give me the first one. Make sure you're taking from the first one.
Yeah, that's all
Okay. I don't know. Did you
Okay.
fuck it up already?
we start from the bottom and move up. So that's
All right.
the mildest. Take it with a thing so you don't get on your hands and wipe your.
Eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm using it. I don't care. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think you should have just done one at a time. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, this is the first one. And what is the thing on this? Does it say?
Okay, this is ghost peppers and Carolina Reapers.
Okay.
30 seconds on the clock.
Wow, that hits hard.
Oh, no.
Whoa. It tastes like you just did a one of those like fire packets and you just
Did
squirted
you
it in your mouth.
swallow?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to swallow.
Oh, you know what? I fucked up. I still have a little bit in my mouth, though.
It becomes just like pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it in there. 5 seconds. Okay,
It's
swallow,
bad.
swallow,
It's
swallow.
bad, but it's
Now
bearable.
we have to wait 30 seconds.
You can
All
wait
right.
90 seconds, it said.
90, I meant.
Okay.
Oh,
That
Oh, boy.
that's bad, but it wasn't that bad.
it's starting to bloom more, though.
It's blooming.
Oh, shit. No, we can't do it yet.
No, I'm just putting it here because as soon as it hits 5 minutes, I'm chugging this thing.
You guys are not making it 5 minutes. Dan specifically.
I cheated a little. I didn't make it into the pace. I forgot that we weren't supposed to swallow.
Didn't
So
let it bloom.
yeah, I didn't let it bloom.
Oh, man.
Wow, you were really taking it hard. I didn't think it was.
Well,
that
I did
bad.
it the right way,
He's
asshole.
sweating.
You don't look good, dude.
My eyes are tearing. Can I get another paper towel for my eyes, please?
Oh, I was gonna give him the one that I took the peanut with.
Oh my god, that would have been hilarious.
All right, how much time are we at?
We're at 50 seconds. So you've
What do we
got
need?
another 30 seconds.
Another 30. Okay.
This is gonna be really hard.
So, what's everyone's plans for the weekend?
Oh shit.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Oh shit. Yeah. This is a problem already. The first one sucked. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. I'm already feeling.
I'm gonna go as far as I can.
I will willingly.
All right, please
tap
get
out.
your next nut ready.
No, let Ralph do it on his own.
Dan, come on.
No.
All right, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Which one is this?
This is
Don't swallow.
Scorpion, Butch Tea Peppers, Carolina Reaper powder. This one's not that bad at all. First one I thought was worse.
First one was definitely worse.
Well, okay. Some news happening. Well, okay.
5 more seconds.
Okay, that's going into parts. Well, okay. So my sinuses.
Okay, you can swallow.
Okay, that one's a different kind of burn. That one,
actually, that one wasn't as bad as the first one. For now.
this one, it didn't hit as hard, but I feel like it's flatlining at a higher level. You look bad, dude.
I feel bad.
You are bad.
I feel like in Dumb and Dumber when they poison the guy.
Okay, this one. Okay, I don't feel good now.
Now I'm feeling it.
Okay.
Woo!
Can I? Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, my ass. This sucks. Oh,
He's
shit.
taking it really bad.
Yeah, like, come on, get it together, guys.
I'm trying.
When Ken eats something spicy,
You are literally dripping sweat.
because you know how Ken's bald. When he eats something spicy, literally like it pours into his eyes. He blinds himself with the sweat.
That's what's happening.
Oh.
Oh my god. I
he's-
feel like Rosie O'Donnell reading. This is terrible.
I don't get the reference. Okay,
Because she's fat and gross.
Okay,
Oh.
get your next nut ready.
I'll take the bigger one this time.
Get your nut.
Which
boy.
one is this?
This is Carolina Reaper Chocolate Buddha and Carolina Reaper powder. I don't know what Chocolate Buddha is.
All right, let's do it.
This one's bad. This one's bad. Oh, no. Nope, not good.
I don't feel it yet.
This one's bad. Okay.
Don't swallow it, you
Put it back
bitch.
in my mouth.
Okay, you can swallow.
No! Not good! Okay. That was the worst by far.
It
Are
sucks.
you tapping?
No.
Yes!
No. I've come this far.
I've come this... Oh!
I think I'm drooling. I can't feel my lips.
This one hurt.
You are drooling.
Oh.
This has only been 30 seconds of us watching them like this.
I know.
I feel terrible.
This one's bad.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Dented the go... Okay.
This, guys, if I could describe this, it's the worst.
Get your nuts ready.
I think it's just delightful.
Look at my hand. I'm shaking. If this one's as bad, I might tap.
All right, here we go.
1,
Let's go.
2.
Carolina Reaper, 7-pot dual...
I feel like I'm deep throating. I feel like the Indian watching litter.
Keep chewing.
Ralph's gone into like a peaceful place.
Swallow.
Okay, now I'm getting like psychological things because I feel like I just drank a lot of NyQuil. I'm like tripping now. Dan's giving birth.
Lamaze.
Okay.
And it's like stuck in my teeth and it keeps coming back out. Shit.
Okay, everything just changed. We made a mistake.
We fucked up. We're sorry that this isn't more verbal.
Okay. We're not eating
Are
it
you
yet.
really doing the last one?
Yes, I am.
You have to.
My name's Ralph Aleka, and I'm into this shit.
My name's Dan Perosi, and I hope I have a heart attack.
Why does the milk say glug glug on the top?
I don't know, but I'm ready to glug glug.
No, you have to wait 5 minutes after this one to glug glug.
Fuck! I can't. I can't.
All right, get your nuts ready.
Go.
Which one is this?
The last.
Pepper X.
Oh my god.
This is a hybrid.
I'm starting to get stomach discomfort.
Ew, Dan. Ew. Go to bed. He's drooling.
That'd be too mean.
You can swallow.
5 minutes now.
Come on, we can do this. We can do this. Come on. We're gonna. Come on. Stay with me.
I'm trying.
Your shirt is drenched. We didn't
I
start
believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Why is he doing the soccer thing? I thought he hated soccer.
I do. I don't know where I'm going. Can we please not make it 5 minutes? Can it be 2?
Nope. Come on, sing with me. We're gonna do this. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning.
We
Oh.
didn't
Start the fire.
It was
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray.
What more do
I have to say? Rock and roll and Cola Wars. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, I might throw up.
Okay.
I'm gonna go outside. I'll be right back.
Leave your milk here, you cheater.
So, this is the Death Nut Challenge, brought to you by Blazing Foods Charlotte. I'd say they're a bit hot.
Ew, he's puking.
Dan is loudly puking outside. I am taking it like a man.
Yeah, you win this.
Oh, but by far, it's not even close.
Throw up. I just fucking spit a lot.
You were gonna win by the first nut. You had many nuts in your mouth, haven't you?
Oh, that's funny. That's wordplay. Awkward silence. Okay. What have we been timing?
No, I'm.
Well, I guess we just start the timer now.
Yeah.
Starts now. I'll say.
Ralph's good. Ralph's not even having an issue.
I'd say it's been 2 minutes. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Okay, so I'm gonna set the timer at 3 minutes. Ugh. The only problem is he is right. Like there's like bits in like your teeth you can't feel because your mouth is all numb, and then like you breathe in, it dislodges, goes down your throat, and it burns.
Hey, Caitlin. Here, let me see the camera. Don't ever do this.
Oh,
What happened?
he's being a little baby.
I am. I'm being dramatic.
Yeah, I've never seen someone act like such a little bitch.
I'm just going to take my milk jug, have it prepared.
Okay.
Hot take, hot pepper, pepper, peanut, pepper. Whoa. Okay. It is hot. I'm got my bagel ready. I saved my bagel. it does waves come over you. Like right now, it's good, and then like a wave's gonna hit.
All right, Dan, I think you're good for the milk.
I think you're not. I think you're only. You got 2 minutes. Come on, we're gonna sing. Come on. Yesterday once told me the world is gonna roll me. I'm the charter of the willow. My mouth is looking kind of dumb with her finger in her thumb in the shape
of an L on her forehead.
Well,
the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Back to the road and
I need to get off the mic. I can't.
Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go.
Video over your head, Mikayla.
Yeah, I don't want to be seen.
We got a minute left. 1 minute left. Come on. Home stretch.
I'm back.
Come on.
Woo!
1 minute.
All right, take a seat.
We got this.
Okay. Everything feels terrible. It's like hurting to talk.
It kind of feels like you got the flu.
The flu's never felt this spicy. My lips hurt.
Dan?
Yeah.
I get knocked down. I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. I get up again.
You're never gonna keep me down. Open the milk. 30 seconds.
Pissing the night away.
He drinks it.
Pissing the night away.
He eats a ghost pepper. He eats a reaper pepper. Pepper X.
Whatever the fuck Pepper X is.
Pepper X. Oh, wait, that show, Pepper Ann. You never saw it. You know, you didn't have cable.
That was on ABC on Sundays.
Okay, come on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's milk time, baby.
Oh my god.
We did it!
Does the milk make it feel better?
It does.
Not really.
A little bit. The lips are tough.
A little bit. No, not really at all. Nope.
I definitely gotta,
bread.
I definitely gotta throw up. All right, I'm wrapping this up. This is episode 10 of You Watch, I Listen. Thank you to the landlord for helping out. Thank you, Mikayla, for sitting in and joining us.
The Bobo Show EP.
Bobo Show EP. Peace out.